We are finally here after a long year.
Order, take the W again here.
It's exciting stuff, dude. It's been a long time coming.
We have got some absolute banger matches on tonight.
Potentially a game changer, but you have no idea what will win.
Oh!
Could be
Spike down.
doing all the damage with this Derek.
Oh, what?
It's only nice extra meting. A last 1v1. Dash is available, and Ronski.
Oh my god.
You got to use your talent to show that you're better than them, not your ego.
Clutchy, he's got this guy lined up. There it is.
I think my entire team is probably better than everyone else on any other team.
Tux and Disco locking it down right now. They don't even phase him yet. Gonna be ticking it to halfway there. Still playing to a T and time falls through.
Where does Knuckle go? Scroll needs this. Scroll needs this, and he will find it. Mac, that might have been one of the most impeccable aces I've seen. Picks up 1, 2, 3. Beautiful stuff here coming out from Payne.
They'll know exactly that there's a player, potentially trying to come up with a speed play.
No, oh my god! The Viper's pin does get pulled on out. Clutchy dispatches of Easy, and there's another entry point.
Even with all the Viper units still down here from RDW, Bunda!
They do gather the information, and Myth has actually moved around onto the other side of this poison cloud. It's great on the whole. Another picked up by Myth. A third! Oh my word! Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. It is 2022. We've got some new videos. We've got some Pash in the background. The music, are you kidding me? But we are here for a fresh one. Konkmoto back on your screens. Welcome everybody. And Dion, mate, it is an absolute pleasure to have you back on board, mate.
What's going on, everybody? Yes, indeed, Mitch. We are back, and I'm so excited to be able to start off and kick off the year as well. 2022, we've had a rocky road to get here, but we are here, which is really good to see. And, this year, it is going to be a banger.
Absolutely. First night of some serious Valorant of the year. So it's a different tournament this time around. So let's dive in and get a little bit of an explanation going.
Welcome to the 2022 Valorant Oceania Tour, a year-long tournament circuit where the best players from Oceania battle it out for cash prizes, a place at the APAC playoffs with a chance to qualify for Valorant Masters, and a shot at the global title. Teams can compete in up to 2 stages, consisting of open qualifiers, a regional group stage, and playoffs, each with their own AUD $25,000 prize pool. By placing high enough, they'll accumulate championship points to be one of the top teams fighting for a shot at the OCE Championship and a $30,000 prize pool. Those top teams go on to the APAC Last Chance qualifier, with the winning team invited to the Valorant Champions, where the world's greatest compete to be named 2022's Global Champions, winning an as yet undisclosed prize pool and true gaming glory. For more information, head to LetsPlay.Live/2022 VOT.
You guys heard it from the man himself. How good is that? 2 slots into APAC. Our Asian brethren, we're going to be over there. We're going to be sending some of our talent over. And Dion, did you hear that prize pool, my man? 25,000 schmackaroos for each stage of the competition. And then I think some big boy cash at the end as well. So we're going to run straight through what everyone is going to be playing for in this leg of the competition. That first stage, 9,000 Dion for the first. And obviously everyone gets a little bit of the action.
Yeah, no, 100%. At least, every team getting some money at the end of the day, regardless of where you do place, because there is 8 teams in this stage, of course. And, 25K, it's nothing to laugh at for the prize pool. But I think one of the biggest things as well, Mitch, is what you mentioned there. There is qualifications to get overseas multiple times this year. And, I mean, we hope to join them as well. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But teams going international, that's what we love to see.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what obviously these guys are going to be playing for. And I think the spiciest thing about this year, Dion, is there's like one team that's the same. So let's have a look into them right now. We've got 2 groups. It's going to be A and B. And this is your 4 teams. We do remember the logo of Fun Crew. Order obviously still here in absolute strides. They were ahead of the pack basically all the way through the year last year. Undefeatable, except for a couple of little hiccups here and there. I remember the old, wildcard roster that did manage to fell them in one event. And then the Honey Badgers, I've heard heaps about them. And Bonkers, great sort of bunch of guys. And for me, Dion, right, this whole thing is going to be about checking in who's new, who's fresh, what are these rosters looking like?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I personally want to bring towards today as well is no spoilers to those rosters that we're actually not going to see on broadcast today. We'll leave them for, you know, the guys over in tomorrow and Sunday, of course, because, you know, different casters coming through the weekend is going to be really, really cool to see. But, you know, we can look in towards the other 4 teams that we are actually going to be having throughout this leg of the journey as well. We got Iconic, you know, starting it off. We got Mind Freak, those might be wondering. Ex-Chiefs did get picked up. It was announced today, so really, really cool to see that. And then Kruma's Disciples and Meow Meow. So once the rosters do get, you know, shown who is on them, then a lot of people will be, you know, being, oh, okay, there's some strength behind those names.
Well, it's a classic OCE shuffle, right? You know, it's happened year on year for so many different games, and we're seeing exactly that now. It's a lot of, you know, I guess, teams kind of meshing together or completely building new rosters, and that's what's the most exciting, right? So Order, obviously going to be the only one that's like that consistent sort of lineup, but everyone's had a break. Everyone's been warming up. We know there's been Prac. We know there's been streams. Big shout out to all the casters who have obviously bringing us the games earlier this year as well. So we've got a bit of a double header tonight, of course. There's going to be 2 matches that's right down below you at this point in time. The opener is going to be Iconic versus Mind Freak, and then of course Fun Crew versus Order. So we won't go into any spoilers just yet, but I'm sort of thinking, you know, first game maybe a little bit closer, and then the second game, who knows? You know, it could be a stomp, it could be an absolute, you know, perler. We'll see.
Yeah, and of course, one of the things to take away from this as well is 2 of our invited teams, if that's something we want to touch upon as well, Mind Freak and Order. So it has been technically a while since they've had to play in an official capacity, whilst all the other teams have, you know, gotten in toward that mindset. There's only really the scrims that a couple of these teams can pull away from. So whether or not that's going to have an impact into today, probably not.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. But let's introduce you to the very, very first team of the competition. It's going to be Iconic. And now, I will say that we actually didn't have all 5 player photos until we found out that Punda is not playing tonight. He is on holiday, apparently. So we've got Swirly Boy coming in to fill the void for this roster. But as you can see here, it's a little bit of a matchup, right? A switch-up, right? Duddy Boy, Mike, you know, and obviously Punda. That was that previous Legacy roster, I do believe. And, you know, we've got Panic and Clicker thrown into it there as well. So it's a very versatile roster. It's super different in the sense that I've kind of got a rough idea of who's going to be playing what. You know, we're likely going to see Panic on the Smoke, Swell on the Duelist, but God knows what else. You know, it really could go kind of any way, and that's what is going to be the most exciting thing for me in this competition.
Yeah, and I think just to touch upon that one a little bit briefly as well, Punda was the IGL of that roster, so they've had to have a small little change-up coming into it today, where it'll be Panic and Duddy kind of co-leading from what we were able to discuss with the team earlier on in the week. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they fare, but let's see who they're going to be playing up against here, Mitch. The team breakdown for Mind Freak, of course, names that everyone should be familiar with, but maybe one stands out a little bit here. Soju, for those that don't know, coming from a big CSGO background, is now maneuvered over into Valorant. And with these handsome boys, it's going to be a deadly roster.
Exactly right. And how good's this? You know, seeing what in the old Mind Freak roster, they liked him so much they bought his new one. So that's exactly what we've got on store. The ex-Chiefs, you know, being Sicko, Tensai, and Ronsky. And then, as you mentioned there, you know, Soju sort of coming into the fray. He's had years and years of experience in Counter-Strike, and he's jumped back over now. And as far as I've heard, he's actually doing really, really well, which doesn't surprise me. Big brain. He's got great experience again to sort of, you know, wrap up his roster and bring them all into the right places. But it's going to be such an exciting one. So, you know, there's always that focus on who is going to be the ones to look out for in the game. So let's dive into that head-to-head as well, bringing up the players in front of us right now. So just again, as a bit of a disclaimer, we're learning today, aren't we, dear? We're trying to get a bit of an understanding who's going to be playing what, who's going to be stepping up to each role. And this time it's going to be Panic and what. So I think off the back of that, you know, it's kind of expected that we're going to be seeing the smoke agents come out here, you know, your Omen, your Astra, that kind of thing, whatever sort of falls into the map meta, which obviously afterwards, you know, we'll get to that part, you know, as the vetoes sort of come up.
And if Panic does indeed drop on toward the Sage as well, we'll get a little bit of Battle Sage. You know that I always love a Battle Sage, so we're going to have to see around that. But I think one of the things is the grain of salt has to be mentioned here. All the stats, all the team comps, we can't really draw too much conclusions from it until we actually see them. And that's, I guess, the beauty of the opening night. It's fresh for us, and it's fresh for everyone else.
Exactly right. And there is a little bit of spice that's going to be thrown into this competition, because we sat down with Mac and found out about everyone's favorite agent, Neon.
So Neon is the new agent in Valorant at the moment, and she's absolutely broken. She's nuts. All of her abilities, they're all over the place, and I have a lot to say about this piece of work. I'm coming at you from the past here, and I've seen Neon in Pugs, but I haven't seen Neon competitively. And apparently today, when this video released, is when she's dropping competitively. So I really hope Riot has done a few things here or there, because if you have a couple of players, maybe some Overwatch players with some nuts tracking, they bring Neon into a competitive environment, then we're going to have some problems. We're going to have some big issues or some new pop-off players. So Neon's kit is a little different. She can slide on the ground, she can run at a ridiculous speed, and her ultimate is where things get spicy. You have full accuracy while you're moving, kind of like Jet's knives, except it's a constant beam. The thing that sets her apart from a lot of the other agents that are currently there is not only the movement speed, not only the fact that she's fully accurate with her overdrive while she is moving, while she's sliding, and she's faster than everyone as well. She can B-hop at you while constantly tracking you with her overdrive. It's just something nuts. I feel like 7 ult points to get that overdrive off may not be enough. Maybe they need to nerf the range of it. I feel like at the moment, she's definitely going to be the high priority duelist you want in your games. I'm excited to see what teams use Neon for. I'm excited to see where she sits in the competitive meta. But at the moment, she's just like the biggest pub stomp agent you've ever damn seen.
Well, I've experienced Neon over the last couple of nights, and let's just say it's not fun to play against. I was never good at Apex Legends, and I'm not very good at Valorant, so definitely going to be an interesting one to see if anyone actually does pull her out tonight, in the sense that it's high risk, high reward, right? But we never know, Neon. Some of these players could have been practicing, scrimming, understanding that it's going to be that first time she's actually diving into it. But it's definitely a game changer. I think, it's going to take a lot of these teams to actually adapt and overcome Neon's playstyle.
Yeah, and I think one of the small points that I want to mention around it from Max Little VT there is the fact that he mentions Overwatch is definitely a good sort of historic game to draw from, but I think Quake is going to be an even bigger one with the tracking. And we know Swirl, for instance, who used to play a bit of Quake back in the day, and he was playing it the other day actually on his own stream. So I kind of do wonder if that leads into a little bit of Neon possibilities from him, and if it does, are we going to get the counters, more Cypher to be brought in, KO as well? I would really love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's obviously one of the, agents to perfectly do it, right? Make sure you're watching your flank, make sure you've got your Sentinel utility down. So, but obviously, one big factor is what are the maps? What are we going to be seeing down? Because we've got maps all the way in now, finally enough to get that real nice and solid pick ban thingo that's sort of going on. And this is exactly what we've got. So it's ban, pick, ban, left over. And as we can see, Fracture and Breeze, thank God Fracture's gone. I barely know it, but I've played it a little bit. It's okay. And Haven Bind to come on in as the first. Wait, hang on. Never mind. It's Fracture at the end.
Doesn't look like they've been updated, potentially.
Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, we'll get that updated. I'm sure it'll come on in just a second. But look, let's just say, Dan, if it is Fracture, I'm going to be asking for some help.
Yeah, well, I can confirm to you, I can bring them up, and it doesn't look like it. We will have it. I'll go ahead and say them while they have it. So, Fracture and Breeze are indeed banned. Those are correct. We do have Haven and Bind. That is correct as well. And here is the update. There you go. Split and Icebox yeeted, and Ascent will be the remaining one. So pretty much smack bang in the middle of the map pool there is what we would expect.
Yeah, how's the irony? The fact that we've had all this time to prac, especially seeing like way more teams picking up Icebox, way more teams picking up Breeze, and now it is literally just that middle of the map pool. As far as I'm aware, I spoke to Panic a little bit before the matchup and everything like that. He's kind of said it's a bit of a pug around, so having Swirl kind of tossed in there as well last minute, you never really know. So that's leaves it open for anything to kind of happen. And I think the most exciting thing for me personally is understanding how good X-Chiefs did last season and how they basically came out of kind of nowhere towards the end and made their way to that qualifying spot. And then it's kind of been a bit quiet. We know Clutchy's obviously left, and there's been some other changes as well. So seeing two big heavy hitters in Watt and obviously Soju come on in alongside, like Bronski, for example, the Jet King, that's a really exciting kind of matchup of players for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be really cool to see all these names back into the server after a bit of a hiatus, and for them, some more than others. But I think if we do draw upon something small from this, historically, I got a little bit of stats from what we saw in the open quals. Iconic against Fun Crew, the new Fun Crew as well. They jumped on Haven and it was 13-1. Over towards Iconic. So a big scoreline difference there, stacking up against Mindfreak now. It will be really interesting to see, how elevated this game is going to be.
For sure, and obviously a massive shout out to all the casters that we're getting amongst it, over the last few weeks as well. When we've had those qualifiers and the games have really started up, you guys are awesome. It's been so cool that we've actually able to have plenty of coverage on all these games nice and early, and then obviously coming into this straight with a bang. I've been trying my best to keep up with everything, and we've also got some absolutely stellar people tomorrow. Matsy and Tony coming in Saturday, and then Mac and Pilsky to wrap up Sunday, and then another week afterwards as well. So it's finally here, Dion. It's been such a big year for so many people, whilst 2021 exactly wasn't the most exciting for a lot. Definitely had some ups and downs. We've got a fresh start. We've got a fresh slate. We've got a new change in the competition, and seeing that APAC slot to come on that way is just such an exciting thing for us.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think one of the biggest things for these teams, and we did mention it earlier, the money, certainly going to help, but it's going to be that experience going overseas and being able to play there. I mean, you talk about WA, right, where you're from. We know Minimize, a little bit of a hint for what's coming later. We know he's been scrimming a lot of SEA teams. So that's leading into way more experience to come through from maybe teams, over in your Melbourne and your Sydney side with a bit of extra ping. But it is going to be really cool. And I think one of my other little tidbits is I want to see Fracture. I want to see what these teams are adopting on toward this map.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was an interesting learning experience, I guess, and that was a funny thing, right? Like, I get 52 ping to Singapore and 53 to Sydney, so I've been playing basically only Singapore servers for the last little while. It's been a lot of fun, to be quite honest with you, but Fracture, really interesting map. It's completely different, right? So many times people making comparisons to other FPS titles and that kind of thing, whereas now, Valorant, it's finally its own thing. It's definitely unique and niche. Neon obviously coming in. Chamber, a little bit more stock standard, but it's exciting to see that, he's another agent that can kind of really make sure you cut off those rotates while still being, I guess, an action agent in the sense. And with Neon sprinting around the map, you've got to be watching your back at all times. And spreading out from the middle of Fracture, that kind of throws you a long way around. So very excited to see what all these teams have actually got set up as strategy, given that it is such a bold change in the way that a attack-defense game is actually played. But guys, we will just have to actually wrap up just for a very short break. I think some players are finally trying to dive into the server, teething issues and all that. It's the first night of the evening. We'll be back very soon, so don't go anywhere.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Down, up, back, up, God, down, up, back, God, down, up, back, up, God, down, up, back, God, down, up, back, up, God, down, up, back, God, down, up, back, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, up, God, down, up, back, God, down.
So Oceania, where haircuts take a little bit too long, means that unfortunately we will be seeing a map 1 forfeit from the side of Iconic. So I do believe there was a little bit of delay for one of the players getting home, and obviously abiding by the rules, we do actually have to have that map 1 forfeit, which, look, that's life, you know, the admin's doing a great job, I think, sticking by the rules there, but it does mean that ultimately Dion will be on a bind. So, you know, a little bit of a forward show here. This was the game that I was sort of thinking was going to be a bit closer, you know, way more chaos, trying to understand how the rosters are looking and everything along those lines. So, yeah, disappointing, but look, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, certainly so. And I mean, you go over towards Bind again, it's one of these maps that is kind of stock standard. A lot of these teams, I don't think we'll see anything out of the norm in terms of the agent picking coming in toward this one. I mean, I'll look to the history of what we've seen from Iconic in the open quals, and they've had some struggles on Bind. Yes, they've ultimately won it, but it's 13-10, 13-11. It's getting pretty close, and a side like Mind Freak, they're going to figure out what you're doing rapidly early, so it could spell a bit of disaster here for Iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, an important sort of factor, right, is that we haven't seen Mind Freak play as of yet, right? You know, it's obviously they're a direct invite into this competition. It's going to be very exciting to see what they actually bring out to the server. Bind is our bread and butter. We've been around it for such a long time now, obviously, you know, very similar to Ascent and, you know, other things of that nature when we've all had it kind of come in at the very, very start of the game. It's got the teleporters. We all know it. A little bit more kind of 50-50, I would say, these days. Maybe
with
a bit more defenders-sided, but the rework, yeah, short A, sorry. You know, so many different changes being able to get up in the grill. My Sage Wall has been nerfed, unfortunately, on that area, but that's okay. So, yeah, I think we're going to be diving into the game in just a second. So, again, guys, thank you so much for your patience and waiting. You know, we're excited to be here. A little bit of a shame, obviously, that we're not going to be able to get that map 1, but as I said, it is what it is, and regardless, we're going to put a show on for you guys.
Yep, no, 100%. And without further ado, Mitch, I am going to throw the question out in here. Twitch chat, they've got their predictions up. What is your prediction for this map in Bind?
I'm going to say, just out of the good nature of my heart, in the sense that I like teams that have been hanging around for a little bit and putting in the yakka, I think it's going to be Mind Freak. I think they'll be taking that one away. And, you know, they've obviously a team that's been, yeah, as I said, putting in the work. They've got new players in the roster, and it's something different. It's something that's changing over. So this is the meat and potatoes, though, Dion, right? You know, something we've been waiting for. Very excited to see what these agents actually do come out as. The meta, obviously, yes, it has changed, but we're starting to see similarities from what I experienced last season, right? We've got Tensai on that Viper, What on the Astra as we expected, Sicko, a mainstay, obviously picking up that Sova, and Soju with the Sky. So that's kind of cool, seeing that little bit of a flex around, and Panic, as we expected, on the smokes, picking up that Brim, and a little bit of a change around as Swell's gone on that Raze. Okay, here we go.
So one of the things I'm kind of waiting for Ronsky is the tendency. We know he's probably going to go over toward that jet, which it is. I was thinking to myself, are we going to get something out of the ordinary? Are we going to see a no duelist comp? Because looking over toward VCT that was over in NA today, there were a couple of teams running no duelist comps, and it looked really interesting to see how they were tackling them out. It was really just cohesive with all the utility just run down. It was really cool to see. But of course, we know that these guys love to run in with the jet. And we're just going to have to see, Mitch, is it going to be the big thing that gets them over the line?
Yeah, no, for sure. And, that's one of the things that we have always talked about, right? During the course of this competition, both last year, this year, is the sense that you don't always need a duelist, It's every single agent can do the shoot in this game. So, obviously, whilst there's, abilities that allow space creation and, flashes and other things along that nature, at the end of the day, whatever the map determines, that's what we can kind of look to see here. But it's that one duelist option, obviously got the famed jet of Ronsky, and then Swirl on the race. So that's the exciting, that's the X factor here. Obviously a replacement for Punda. But yeah, anything could go in a matchup like this. But Dion, as I got to say it, mate, it is night one, the opener for VOT 2022.
Alrighty, so let us see what we're going to be bringing to the table here. But the short B location being gathered by Swirl behind the boombot is, again, pretty forward. But everything is just leaning over toward the side of A at the moment. You already got that Viper wall being put down as well. So it does look like old mates in Iconic are setting up for this A side.
So taking it slow. 3 members obviously stacked up towards here already. No real information, but Tensai is forward thinking inside that shower position. It looks like he does want to be joined by Ronsky, but still watching over. Now the first contact will start to come through and dinked up already. Here's the aggression, Dion, and they're straight out onto this side.
And these shots are going a little bit haywire right now. Click a good 4-1, but the plan is ultimately looking to go to the floor. The push in from Ronsky. It's a great shot out of the Sheriff. Make it 3. Can he get the 4? No. Panic will put a shutdown to that, but that might have just spurred disaster over to the side of the attackers. The plant does go down here. Mitch, and Panic's in for 1. Can't get the second. It's all down to Swirl. Now the 1 versus 1. It's against Sicko. Knows where he is. And he can settle things down. The shots are out from both of them, though. And, Swirl, 17 HP. He does get taken out. And Sicko, yep, there's a bit of BM.
Dude, how's the irony of that? We're constantly talking about casters screaming, and there I am, literally round number 1, because Ronsky is just walking around the map like it's a death match, throwing that Sheriff left, right, and center. 3 quick headshots, and ultimately off the back of it, it is going to be a Mind Freak round win, but it's down to the absolute skin of their teeth at the end of it. And look
at the player cams. Absolutely love to see it. Ronsky doing a lot of the talks in the beginning phase here.
Got to get the chat up. That's the opener, the hype behind it. But yeah, look, I guess a nice start there. Obviously, it comes down to the one-on-one, meaning that there is going to be, just the usual save, but they don't obviously have a whole lot of money to take over. Picking up this time, looks like it's 3 of the Spectres, a Marshal for Ronsky, as expected, and Sicko's going to take it a little bit easier and go for just the Sheriff. Whereas, yeah, full eco here. Panic's picked up the Sheriff as well, but he did have a little bit of extra cash from the previous round.
Yeah, so it's going to be toward this A side again for the early stages over on the side of Iconic, making a little bit of noise in the showers as the Aldrone does come out for Sicko. It is good to see, all this utility being purchased up for him, down to that Sheriff as well, just making sure he's got some sort of sidearm to play against, but immediately some rotations from Iconic over toward the B site. You do have a little bit of a push up already from Soju over Ronsky. Alrighty. Starting off onto Clicker, but here's what I was saying. Over in the B long garden area, Soju waiting.
Yep, just throwing the guiding light out there, chilling, not really over peaking, fighting the way into 3 hungry members up towards that long position is a definite curse. So holding from the site now, nice and passive. 40 seconds left on the clock, but there is a little bit more of a heavier lean here. 3 members now holding onto position. What's going to be the first to take point? But it's Sicko to open up. He gets a second as well, looking really good here. Sicko with 3, nice and easy. Sheriff looking clean, the shock dart for 1, and that will be a flawless wrap-up of the round for Mind Freak. But obviously it is now moving into that bonus there on Vandals out.
And I do wonder if we're going to get a little bit of haste to come out from Iconic here. They do have the Orbital Strike available for Panic, and that could be a really big position to gather. You think about him using that over towards U-Haul. It'll push some players out if they are going to be there. That's currently Tensai who is floating. But I'm looking at the flip side, Mitch. I'm looking at what Mind Freak are purchasing. Ronsky, it's the 3rd round, and he's got an Operator. in possession. He is here to fight.
No bonus here, just full-on aggression, and he's not going to be punished for it either. He's straight out of there.
Oh,
he
no!
has run out of his dash, however,
He
though.
didn't jump.
And he's going to be punished for it. Yeah, unfortunately, he breaks his legs on the way out. The knees get clipped, and he will be going straight down in that hookah position. So looking to get the way out. The Trailblazer does go through, but will be taken down very, very quickly. But look at this lead now, Dion, already up towards B, and they're looking to fight.
Oh, a bit of a reveal coming in towards Hookah as the boys is going to start to fall back. I think that was a missed shot dart there, unfortunately, from Sicko, but it does look like Iconic already getting in toward the site. The challenge out from Panic is good for 1 more damage. Duddy's real low as he wins that duel. It's a player advantage for Iconic, and it's now split from Sicko and from Tensai, where they're going to be going in for the potential retake. Tensai wins the duel in Hookah. It's 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's going to make it real challenging now. I was sure that Clicker holding that line did have the information, but now they've managed to pick up as to where these members are. Sicko's moved out. Mike very low. And somehow, some way, we see the side of Mindfreak come on top, winning out that bonus round on. And they pick up a third, nice and easy breezy. I was sure that with that aggression and Clicker holding that line in Hookah, it was going to be a different story. But I think they've got the operator. Yes, they do. Getting that one for Ronski. And yeah, a very, very explosive start here for Mindfreak early on that defensive side.
Yeah, and of course, the orbital strike was utilized there from Panic, only good for 1 frag in the end. And with the round being lost, ultimately, it doesn't really surmise to anything, right? It didn't gather them the round on the back of the full investment on a weaker purchase from the side of Mindfreak 2 being on that bonus. So, all things considered, absolutely, brilliant round from Mindfreak. Poison to the new one. There's a bit of a purchase from the side of Iconic. You got the Marshal, you got the Sheriffs. It's a bit of a half buy, but I mean, you look towards the stacking on Mindfreak. It should, on paper, be their round.
The keyword always the on should, right? You know, the amount of times we've seen a cheeky little sheriff round get the dub. But no, it's Ronski to go in again. Aggression. It's one thing that, you know, a lot of players in this region do struggle to punish. You know, Ronski always likes to get up in people's grills and, you know, take the control where he can. But the smokes will go down from Panic, obviously sitting on that Brimstone. And they're trying to take site slowly, but that is the big change, Dion, as we spoke about. That short line, right? With the box obviously being shrunk down, you can get straight over there. Minimal utility can actually hold it. And yeah, 3 members already in U-Haul. Look at this.
Yeah, the drone, I was waiting for Sicko to be able to deploy this one. Any tags, he could even use his Hunter's Fury, but the timing, the tag on towards Swirl, they know the bodies are starting to accumulate around the CT line. Sicko through the smoke, manages to find 2. It's rather the toxic screen, and Ronski will be finishing it off with the 3K for himself. Only 1 player losing their life on the side of Mindfreak. You will be okay with that as we move into the next round. And now, Mitch, there is another purchase to come through from Iconic here.
Yeah, nicely done. Nice and easy round. That's exactly what you want to see from them. They haven't really felt the pressure as of yet of these eco rounds, the half buys, and that's exactly what you want to see. But Dion, I'll tell you also something that I am seeing outside of these player cams, which are gorgeous, by the way, is all the familiar names in the chat. Everyone's sort of coming back out of the dirt, and, you know, it's been a long break. That's what it feels like, right? You know, obviously, since that LCQ that we had over here, you know, the finals of the OS challenges that we had the pleasure of casting. You know, it's been such a time between drinks for me, so it's awesome to be back here and seeing everyone supporting.
Well, Trailblazer is going out back in toward the A site. That orb will be able to get gathered by Duddy Boy, 1 away from the resurrection if he does want, but it's, you know, pretty considerate at the moment from Iconic, just spreading their wings, making sure there's no overextension to come through from Mindfreak at the moment. Bit of a tag from the shock dart, but everything again starting to pivot over towards this A site for Iconic. Toxic screen's already down as they start to make their way in.
Slow waltz in. Still plenty of time to work with. Start looking to potentially go out into the showers in just a second. Will be destroyed. That will give them some information, but I think it's actually going to be Tensai, the one to actually start to spot out this information. Cloud will go up, but the guiding light comes out. But once again, it's Sicko in commanding control. Taking down the first, but Daddy Boy does get the trade. And Dion, here's the action.
Yeah, the shots are all on out. Ronski doesn't get anything done with the blades, but the Hunter's Fury gets a couple of big tags on out. 3-on-3. That res is available for Duddy Boy. Remember that. The spike does get dropped, and now it has to get picked on up. Do we consider a TP over to the side of B? The bomb, or the spike rather, is picked up, and there we go. Over to the other side. Duddy Boy's going to hang around for a bit of a frag, maybe even a second one onto Soju playing over a triple, but Watt has moved over to the site already. And Mike is on 46 points of HP. How does he tackle this one?
Got the res. That's the only thing, right? That could be the benefactor here. But now all the extra time, Daddy Boy moving into that position. Can get the slow orb down. That might buy him some extra time. And now he's got his teammate. There's the overgrowth, the regrowth, sorry, rather. And Daddy Boy, he's picked up 4 now here, Dion. This is the impact moment that you like to see. The frags were slow, but there is that guiding light to come out again. Daddy Boy in prime position, tapping along, but Daddy Boy with the ace. Very early, 5 rounds into the competition for a 5th frag on the round. And the Sage on top there, the Battle Sage getting it done.
Give the man a medal. He's got the first ace of the tournament of the year. If we think about the official capacity and not the open qualifiers. A couple of aces in there. But yeah, big impact to get the first round on the board for Iconic as well. The thing is, you can't rely on that time and time again. So we're going to see a bit of a change up from the side of Iconic into this new round. They've already got the Viper's Pit available. They are 1 away from the Seekers on Clicker and then 2 for Swirl with the big old rocket. So maybe the point of interest is to farm up a little bit of the ults to try and get a couple more rounds in. But I am liking the aggression on the flip side from Ronsky right now. Taking charge into Panic. There's the shot. And there's the opener. Shut down.
Mate, it's a classic. It's like we've never left this game, right? Watching Ronsky get that aggressive position down towards short. And now Sicko already poised as well, you know, ready to rock. Gets the dart out from the Owl drone, but they do start to fall away now. There's the ultimate coming out from this Viper. And with it heading its way out, they're still just going to slow it down. You know, not looking to overextend. Mike's still sitting out in the position. But it looks like 2 members, especially with that spike, going to be rotating over towards the B position.
I was thinking the Sage's barrier wall, you could be able to position that and maybe a cheeky plant from in the Viper's Pit, but it does look like Iconic have a different plan of action here, just utilizing the pit, making sure that no one from Mindfreak can push on in, waste their utility in all sense of the matter. But right now, it's just a couple of empty shots, you know, some warning attempts from everywhere. Bit of a missed shot from Ronsky twice. If any of these hit, man, that would be so dirty. But 10 size position, I don't think he can see the triple box. It's going to be a bit of a kiss if he does push through, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a kiss of the cuddle to start off this round, but instead, it's going to be Ronsky picking up his second, awkward. Somehow still alive, but Clicker will swing on through, able to find it, and there is the Cabbages coming on out. He's going to be able to pick up another here as well, but very, very low in the position now. 22 points of HP with no shield to back him up, but there's the regrowth. Going to be able to get Mike back and nice and healthy with the Sage Wall. Now broken down by the Trailblazer, so they're starting to get some further information
no info.
Nothing spotted though, however. Still have the snake bite to be thrown out. Clicker still holding inside the Nova. There we go. And now it's all onto Mike in a 1 versus 3. He's not going to be able to get it done. And that should be nice and easy on the time there for the defusal. And Dion, another round going the way of Mindfreak.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for, who was it? Soju with the Trailblazer that it didn't spot out any information in the pit, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day because the picks do get found. And a little bit hard done by for the side of Iconic, right? They open up with that pit and they can't really get any frags beyond it. And then all the utility that Mindfreak were shoving their way, just a little bit of chip damage here and there. The bullets connecting. And at the end, you know, no heals when they do lose the Sage. And then the rest of them lose their lives at the end. It's another one, as you say, over to Mindfreak. Now it's back to the drawing board for Iconic. They're back on toward these Sheriffs. It'll need to be some comms for how they really are going to tackle the remainder of this half. You know, 1 round to 5 over on the side of the defenders. It's starting to get away from Iconic. This is a map that I mentioned in the open qualifiers. Didn't really go their way cleanly. It was always very close. So they need to kind of get on the board and, you know, make it a relatively equal first half.
Oh, that dart already doing worlds of damage, but Swirly Boy is going to try and bump his way out with the showstopper, but he has been slowed down in the process, and now he's sending it up in towards CT. Nobody home, and it is going to be a very, very interesting retake position. Once again, Dion on the occasion. We'll see these 5-on-5 setups where the team's happy to wait, but Ronsky, he is straight in there, and he's looking for more as well.
Yeah, well, the player advantage already on the retake. And look at this, a dirty little judge coming from a flank. Tensai is going to peek out, but trying to bite off more than he can chew, it would have seemed. Swell has his number, and now time is of the essence for Mindfreak to get into the retake. The Cosmic Divide comes through, certainly is going to help them here. It's going to force Iconic in through. Look at the flash. It's getting all of them. 1, 2, can't get the third, but the damage is already done. The defuse is half. Watt's just sticking it. He's not being defended, but it doesn't matter as he finds the kill. And in the end, the defuse is going to come through.
That round started to get a little bit scrappy just there, you know, but it's Soju to dive on through, taking matters into his own hands, allowing his team to get to the defusal on that spike. And he is looking very, very nice on this guy, you know. It's just such a crazy thing to watch, right? How slow and happy he is to play, right? He's got the high risk versus high reward plays. Is he going to dive through with the back of his utility, or is he going to fall away and allow for the team to sort of come to him? But we've seen a myriad of different plays come out from Soju already, and it's nice to see that he's slotting into the Valorant world very, very nicely. But yeah, look, Mindfreak are dominating right now, and obviously with that map 1 FF that we did see come through, it means that we could be in for a very, very quick 2-0.
Yeah, potentially so. Get that next game that we think can go any which way as well. But we have to put a bit of a stopper in that for later, as that is a magnificent flick from Ronski. Saw 2 in his sights as well, so could even go for another little challenge. But I don't think they know, that Duddy Boy had already been pushed up. Another trade can't be found, and now this is the round that Iconic can find.
He's absolutely stepping up to the plate now, isn't he, bro? Like I tell ya, 2 big frags again. That Battle Sage working wonders. And the spike will be planted. All 3 members coming through CT as a unit. So they're making their way in. Starting to get towards that CT position. We have some utility available. Trailblazer to go out to see if he can find anything further. But Duddy Boy utilizing that Sage Wall nicely. Sitting up in heaven. Watching over. Will he be able to pick up a 3rd frag here? Looks like he will, but now he's got to be careful because what is out from heaven as well. Soju looking to swing his way around. Still does have a guiding light available. The Clicker trying to utilize that wall. Watt's still clearing his angles. They don't know where Swirl is. There's Clicker. There is no. There's actually the bird cave that kept him alive for a little bit longer. Now I don't think Soju actually has time, Dion. Swirl's going to be able to pick up one more. And there we have it. It should be round done. And yeah, finally we see a bit of chaos happen. And Iconic gets their way back into the map.
Yeah, Watt knows that he can't get the defuse in the end, so he'll just go up with the Radiant Knight. Of course, he had the ability of the Orbital Strike from Panic, you know, if they felt any pressure that they needed to buy some more time. So as soon as Icon did get those first couple of openers into the round, after losing the first one to that flick of Ronski, the round was essentially theirs. You know, the retake was not really strong enough to come through from Mindfreak. However many ways you want to try and say that, it is what it is, right? The retake, it was a little bit weaker. Players on Iconic were alive and Mindfreak weren't. So, Mitch, this is the start for them to get back in toward this game. They've got the Resurrection. They've still got that Orbital Strike. They've got the guns again. Now they got a little bit of info that someone's in showers on the back of that guiding light.
Absolutely. Obviously, on that attacking side, it is a little bit more challenging. Definitely way more space. But when you've got aggression like you're seeing come out right now, already clearing through showers, sending Ronski straight on through. And Soju's got some information off the back of that Trailblazer as well. So immediately in commanding position once more. They know where they can send the rotates. And already sending a member back towards that B site. That's going to be, I do believe, to be Sicko. And now with the Trailblazer coming up there, it looks like it is going to be that fight towards B.
Well, you got some delay available in Hookah as well from the Astral Stars. There does go the Nebula. The Gravity Well, I don't think has been utilized, but you know what has? That Orbital Strike of Panic, and now Duddy Boy is going to open up the party in toward the site. They overlook what? If they go for the plant here, Panic brings out his smokes. That is not what you want to be doing. Unfortunately, the iPad taken out of his hands. Ronski is now in for the fragging action, but it's all the Iconic boys that are starting to shoot up in the kill feed. The spike is going to get delayed for a little bit. As the Resurrection, again, still available, but it's 3 versus 2. Plant to go down.
Sicko.
Denied.
Dude, he's actually dropped the spike in the process. That's beautiful. And now gives them extra time. It is still going to be that 3-on-2, but Tensai has actually managed to find another. That's massive. Sicko still holding from elbow, but Dion, they're running out of time. Mike is going to be the equalizer here, and he takes matters into his own hands, closing out another round for the side of Iconic here, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered, because Dion, look at the cash money situation for Mindfreak. They got nada. Zilcho.
Can I just say, in that round, Iconic with the quick fragging ability was really good, but the utility usage of Mindfreak was pretty impeccable. The delay from Hookah, you know, Iconic did bust through, but you talk about the snake bites, you talk about the shock darts, the wallbang even to come through from there. Mindfreak were using the fundamentals of this game to their strengths, and if they can continue to do that, they could have a really strong defensive side, but that's not to take away from Iconic in that round. They got the round in the end. They survived with what they needed to, and they've got the guns in this round. Mindfreak do not. Though the attempt is there for the opening, it's going to be met by damage. That's it.
Yep, ding through the wall. So that just forces Panic back. Should have a heal shortly, but he'll wait just for a little bit of time as they do start to march their way up on towards this A position. Now it's going to be Tensai, man to point first, but he does put out Swirl. Needs to be a little bit careful now.
Ooh.
God, I love it.
Sicko.
I've missed it so much, right? Watching Swirly bounce around, but you're exactly right. Sicko finds the opener. Will they be able to get the spike down?
Well, damage onto Panic. That'll need to get healed up quick and span as well, because the retake is going to start to come through. And even though Mindfreak do have the lesser weaponry, it doesn't matter. There goes Panic. Smokes. The Incendiary was technically already used, so no post-plant to do with that. Nova Pulse down early on, but the wall, as it is broken, here comes the funneling. Swirl 1 and 2. Mike into the fray as well, and those paint shells are going to force the MF boys back. And now they can just play for the post plant. They can wait, let them come to them. Tensai getting a bit ambitious with the B hops, but in the end, it's all on to Soju with the Sheriff, and it's going to do nothing. Swirl for the 4K.
Immaculately played. I can't believe he actually chose to fall back to U-Haul as well there. Very, very wise to give himself some extra time picking up the 4K for Swirly Boys. So he's got a fresh cut and hopefully a fresh map win to make sure that we do get through to that third. But nicely done. Look, you know, it's been a pretty dominant start for Mindfreak, but Iconic have been absolutely fighting back, and they have dragged this one out of the dirt into a pretty respectable position now. 2 rounds left in the half before we have that swap over for them to go to the defensive side. But yeah, look, it's been old mate Duddy Boy and seeing also Swirl step up to the plate. That's what I was hoping for in a matchup like this.
Nah, 100%, man. Individual prowess is something that, you know, a lot of these rosters might be able to showcase us because, you know, we haven't seen a lot of that cohesion. A lot of these teams haven't been together for too long. You talk about Punda being the name, say, in this Iconic roster. You got Swirl today because of the holiday affair. So, bit of a change up, and that's where that name comes on through. I mean, you think of Swirl, right? You think of what we saw on Haven, on that seaside, and things get interesting.
Yeah, whole Swirl doing big amounts of damage. He was one of those players very, very early on that I knew was going to kind of make it in the scene. You know, he plays very aggressively, very much fits the mold of a Valorant player, but so does Ronsky, and he's dashing straight on in, and he's going to be slapped in the face for it, Dion. Clicker takes him down, and with that Cosmic Divide in play right now, they're looking to get the spike down, but Sicko's going to open up, and there's the information gathered, but he does miss the second shot, and unfortunately, he's going to be not finding a frag there with the ultimate.
Yeah, kind of rare that you see a Hunter's Fury not get a kill from a Sicko, but it's happened, so we follow in with it. The player advantage for Iconic with that plant on down forces the hands of Mindfreak to go for this one. Those 20-second smokes as well from Panic really buying time. There's another one over to the side of Iconic in that frag area. And is it time to just concede the round, essentially, for Mindfreak? They don't really have the investment back into it, even though they're really low on HP for the side of Iconic, but they're going for it. Tensai is in. It's absolutely decimated by Duddy Boy. Was not expecting to, and now it is just down to Soju. He's being hunted. The damage is there, but he's going up with the spike.
Will he be able to make it away from that Radiant as well?
No,
yes, he will. Nicely done from Soju. There was a teleport to come over to the other side of the map, but it's okay. It is going to be a saved weapon for Soju. That is going to be a massive benefactor for them because pretty much aside from that, they're relatively boned, right? They had a drop over, I do believe, onto one of the members, so we're going to have a half shield for one each in Ronsky and Sicko for the time being, but yeah, look, this has just been an absolutely dominant position from Iconic, and they're the ones to actually take the pause. Is this a bit of a flex, Dion?
Yeah, well, you can see with the cameras all up at the moment, there was a little on the side of Mindfreak, so just collecting their thoughts. And you can see that on the side of Iconic, it does look like Swirl having a lot of words to come through. Of course, Duddy Boy, probably the one, you know, taking the lead here as Panic's a little bit silent, but unfortunately, due to whatever circumstances it is, we can't see Duddy Boy in the cameras. But man, I'm just going to say, how good is it to see in these little freeze times, the boys? How good is it?
We're finally catching up, man. We're catching up. That's what we want, right? You know, we haven't been able to play LAN, so we need player cams, right? And they're finally coming in. So it's it's beautiful to see. You know, big shout out to obviously LPL for, you know, not only taking on Valorant for another year, but also trying to make it, you know, much a better show. And that's exactly why we're here, Dion. You know, we love to bring all this content alongside the team over at LPL. And massive shout out to obviously the production and our Obs Crashman.
I was about to say that. I was about to say huge props to Crash. Everybody, if you don't know Crash, where have you been? Hiding under a rock. He is
pretty much
the OCE observer. We got to get this man everywhere. He's going places.
Yeah, he's already done some stuff over in that APAC region, and let's just say I can't wait to see some more from him as well. looks like there's just been some cool things, you know, for the Oceanic region. I'm confident that we're going to finally meet our mark. We've got so much to offer. And, you know, all I've been saying as a result is, you know, teams, take the game seriously. Let's make sure that we see some competition, because if I watch Order win everything again this year, I might lose my mind.
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. We're going to have to
They deserve it, though. That's got to be said.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're cracked. There's no denying that. We will get to see them a little bit later tonight, though, which is going to be a treat. But for right now, Mitch, after that pause, it is the last round of this first half. A couple of light shields on the side of Mindfreak. You do have that judge for what's currently playing in hookah behind a couple of those stars as well. So it could get a little bit interesting in how the plan of attack is going to be. There's no Trailblazer now for Clicker. It has to be the Guiding Light, which is heard. It doesn't really blind what. This is where the deadliness of the judge can really be put to use.
And here's those Seekers coming out as well to find the information. So they're going to have plenty of audio, but they are all destroyed very, very quickly. And off the back of that, look at that rotate. But again, it is going to be getting all of the information. They're confident on this rotate, and they are going to be starting to make their way out. Toxic screen is up, though. And there is going to be the Viper's Pit unleashed as well. But Sicko, speaking of unleashing, a big 3K from him, locking it down. What a massive, massive map he has had so far. Now Mike is making his way towards the side, but it's such a tough position. The Trailblazer's there. He will fall out, but he does get spotted. And that's going to be Sicko picking up another. Can he get the ace? He absolutely can. Theon, we're 12 rounds in, mate. We've had 2 aces, and this has been such an explosive start. Finally, we see Mindfreak get a round back, but it is off the big shoulders of Sicko.
Mate, the P shooting gallery, it would seem. No vision there for Sicko, and that's 4 kills without seeing the enemies. Technically on the back of the Viper's Pit, you know where one is. The Trailblazer also giving some information. But, hey, Phantom to spray them all down, getting the kills, getting the round. Absolutely what you love to see. And now we do maneuver over into the next half, and there's only 2 rounds difference. I was saying for Iconic that it has been a rough map, right? Bind didn't really have, you know, a very big, large scoreline differences. It was always close. So to be able to keep this one close against Mindfreak, it bodes well for them. Now moving to the defensive side, I'm keen to see how they're going to really utilize the Sage wall, because you were talking about it, right? Can't really use it over at A short anymore. It's going to be, you know, everywhere else.
And I'm just thinking this myself. Maybe other people are in the same mind. But do you reckon Swirl looks like Ruffleco? That's the vibes I'm getting right now. Look at it next time he comes up on the player cam and tell me you see it, all right?
No, I see it. I see it already. Yeah, I totally do.
That's going to be living in your head for the rest of the broadcast, as it will mine. But look, it's a position, right? Super important here to make sure that we do see the side of Iconic bring this one over, taking it to that final map, which is, of course, Ascent. And it's just a slow round so far. Pistols out, of course, as usual. And only 2 members from the side of Iconic on that A side. It is a heavy lean towards B, but that looks like it is going to be the locale where it's heading towards. Information gathered by that Guiding Light, but still a slow round. 50 seconds left on the clock as they edge closer towards this side.
Yeah, I wonder how much of a pull Tensai is going to be able to do over to the A side as the Viper util is over there. But this Trailblazer just might reveal how much info there is. It's seen, what, 2, maybe 3 players? The Incendiary goes down for Panic as well. And this is just going to disconnect what Mindfreak are going to be able to do. But Tensai, he's actually managed to find 2 openers. Dunny Boy, Mike, looking the wrong way. And that might just be the round off that little flank. The impact that one player can bring is huge. And Tensai is the player in this round.
Exactly right. He's got that stake bite down and the toxic screen's up too, so that's going to allow some additional time. They've got to be careful. You know, that decay that comes through from the Viper's toxins is always a scary, scary prospect, but now they're moving up in towards Heaven. Remember, going through CT, that will be Panic as well, but poised, ready, up on towards this side. Will Tensai be able to find more? Ronski does miss a couple of shots with his Sheriff, but now they're moving in slowly. There's Swell with 1, but what will find the trade? 20 points of HP is relatively low, but Clicker, he's been spotted out by this, the drone as well, so the shots are coming through. Does pick up another. Sicko does get the trade, but Panic moving in 1 versus 2. He's had some damage dealt, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late for Panic here as he does get spotted out by Soju. And there we have it. 8 rounds secured by Mindfreak. It's a bit scrappy, but Tensai, what a round.
Yeah, no, that pretty much does boil down to just him. All of the boys were seen over in Garden, from the Trailblazer, essentially. The jig was up. Panic throws in the Incendiary. They dump that util. But then as soon as that happens, Tensai finds the 2 frags over onto the A site, and everyone just absolutely beelines it over there. Plant goes down, and then they're all really just set up for the denial of the retake. And whilst there were some nice shots to come on through from the side of Iconic, it can't get them over the line for the round. So both pistols have gone to the side of Mindfreak to set themselves up quite nicely. They get a purchase into here. You got a Vandal, you got a Phantom, you got a couple of Spectres. But But look at the grouping over at B Short. Everybody from Iconic. And now they're hitting the floor.
They're ready for it though, at least, so makes it nice and easy. Do believe that was a 2K from Sicko. What manages to pick up 3, but, you know, a bit of a throwaway round. Nothing to really speak about there. They try to take the matters into their own hands, but it looks like Mindfreak was ready for it. You know, not allowing themselves to be flanked upon and closing out the round with only 1 fatality. So that's a nice result from them. And, yeah, starting to extend out this this lead at this point in time. 4 rounds the difference. But, of course, it is going to be their first bite. First real opportunity. And we do need to see big things come out from Mindfreak in this bonus. It's only going to be what on the Sheriff, Soju, and Tensai with the Spectres. There has been an investment from Sicko and Ronsky, but that's a you know, big early one that they're going to hold on to. So very winnable round for both sides. Let's see them put it into practice.
Well, you cast your mind back in the bonus round that we saw in the first half. There was an operator in play from the Jet of Ronsky. We're not seeing anything like that over on the side of Iconic, so you already know that it's going to be a different plan of attack. It's methodical for them right now, gaining control, or at least attempting to, of Showers, baiting it on out as Swirl gets back into here, and everyone else is just going to waltz their way up through a short. There's the opener. Ronsky decapitates Mike.
The Classico, right? Seeing Ronsky peek up over the top and getting that entry as the Jet. Always love to see it, but now he's trying to cruise on up and allow some further space on towards this site, because one thing they can't overlook is Swell. He's still inside the showers. The rotate's already there as well, and it's very much just Tensai on this Viper trying to create some further space. Duddy Boy's close, but looking at the position, will he spot out the head of Ronsky? Yes, he will. Information gathered, and unfortunately, Ronsky, sometimes he can overpeak, and that's one of these times. 4 and 4.
They're not sold as well. Panic was starting to move over toward the A site, but then he started to just meander back towards B. You know that it's a little bit in the headspace of the side of Iconic right now. They're still not 100% on where Mindfreak are going in this round. Duddy Boy's starting to fall on back towards CT. We know with the radar bird's eye view that everyone is around this A site, and now is the time as the Nebulas blossom. It's Tensai getting taken out as well as what? And things are going the side of Iconic.
Gonna get the trailing in there, but no, it's gonna be Duddy Boy. My God, the guiding light even pops out for Soju, but he's just not quite ready for it. And Duddy Boy has had another massive, massive round. Again, only the bonus, a little bit scrappy to come through for Mindfreak there, but that is a round that is a power play. Duddy, what's he on right now? 18 and 11. You ain't gonna tell me that Sage is a support agent, are ya?
Well, I talked about Battle Sage even before it when we saw that pick, and it certainly is coming on through. The essence of what Duddy is able to do on Sage right now to try and propel Iconic just to a dub here to get us into that 3rd map as well, which will be Ascent if we do end up going there. Will be really cool to see. But another round on the board. That's another gun round for everybody here. Sicko getting closer to the Hunter's Fury. Keep your eyes out for that. Duddy 1 away from the Resurrection. 2 impactful ults to come through potentially in this round. But again, Mitch, Viper util. It's all down.
It is indeed. That creates so much extra space for the defenders. They are going to start to make their way up. It's just a big blob of green and Dion purple as well. Can you see either of the colors? Probably not, but the gray screen shows exactly what is happening right now. It's aggression out, but all of these abilities are being used where the rest of the side of Iconic, they're going to move straight into the showers. What is ready, however, but he does start to fall away. Swirl repositions, but Dion, is what going to go big, or is he going to get cleared?
It's a multi-dimensional retake approach from Iconic. You love to see it. 1, 2 shots out. One's a headshot onto Clicker. He should have been able to find that frag. Unfortunately not. As now, they are going the way of the attackers on the Mindfreak side. And it's just looking pretty simple. You know, the trade's coming on all out. You do just have Mike now available, but no snake bites to try and deny the positions of where the attackers might be playing from. And that time is just ticking away. Guiding Light will be blinding Mike here as well. He doesn't even have his own orb to throw on the spike to try and get the defuse. And yeah, he just has to call it. Again, it's another unfortunate round. They pick up the bonus round technically for Iconic, but they lose the first real purchase from Mindfreak.
I'm just trying to look at their money right now. You know, obviously we do have Mike saving on that Phantom into the next, and Clicker, he's going to need it. You know, he's going to need to have a purchase dropped over for him. So let's see what does come through. Yeah, it ain't great, but it ain't awful. So it looks like we are going to have a purchase come through for Iconic, but Mindfreak are really starting to edge this out. They win this, and it looks like it's potentially GG in the favor of Mindfreak 2-0 for the series.
Well, I'm kind of just brainstorming right now. Panic one away from the orbital strike. If there is, you know, a push out from him, which is looking to be over at B long, he can grab that orb and they could play some semblance of a post plant or retake rather, if they need to. You know, Clicker might just be holding his teammate's hand to get a little bit of a trade. It's going to be over to the side of Panic at the moment. So there's lots of possibilities that Iconic can do to still gather this round, even though they are, you know, technically one player without a gun. Clicker is just going to be playing real supportive on this round, but the presence that Panic has already done, right? He's grabbed the orb. They know that the orbital strike has been gathered. That deep smoke, yeah, Ronski pushes in front, but it's just this control that's being gained out from kind of both sides. We're waiting to see who is going to reveal their hand first. It's looking to be Iconic. There you go.
Man, again, we see it once more. Dirty Boy taking the battle sage straight down short and doing damage, walling down as well. So that's that choke point already isolated too. But it does appear that the rest of Mindfreak waltzing their way up towards this B site. The rotation from Swirl, it is going to be there, and they've got plenty of time. And they didn't obviously spot anything on the back of the owl drone. Clicker straight on in, but Bronski can dash away. Soju does do some further damage, however, so it is going to be equalized here in the retake for a 4-on-4. Panic gets the orbital strike down, but it's not going to find anything as a result.
Yeah, no death from above at the moment, but it does buy a little bit of time and a beautiful flash. Panic reads into it, gets in front of it. No, I lie. He was completely blinded in that. You still got that res from Duddy. Keep that in the back of your mind if we need. But 4 versus 3, Hunter's Fury also here for Sicko. Gonna have to be patient to see if that's utilized. They know where Ronski is. They tag team to get him out, but he still manages to find one. And now Panic has been spotted getting real close towards the garden. Watt will be hearing that, and it's an early Hunter's Fury for the time. Watt manages to dispatch of Panic, and now that tag doesn't come through. The defuse is on as well. Gets a beautiful shot onto Watt. More out onto Sicko, but it denies the play. Or the defuse, rather, and he wins the round on the back of it. Oh, my.
Bro, you've got to be absolutely feeling for whoever it was on the site right there, getting taken down. Sicko going for the diffuser as he does utilize his kit as the Sova to take the control. And man, that is a perfect play to see the Hunter's Fury doing it all, getting the extra time and then utilizing the weapon to wrap it up. The Recon Bolt gathers the info, and there we go. This is what I was speaking about. Potential game ender right here, as it is down to the Sheriffs, and Mike has picked up the Vandal for good measure, but regardless, they need this round. Otherwise, it's going to be map and series point.
A bit of a showers contest early on as the Nova Pulse is going to get a little bit of disorienting in, and that dart is getting all the info. Ronski, but it's Swirl with 2 from the rocket. Man, people say in Project A, abilities don't kill people, it's all guns. Nah, they lied. Swirl for 3. And there's a bit of a crunch on. Yeah, and the res.
And a res. Dude, this is happening right now. It could be so much more, but the full flank, it's not even a flank. It's an attack is going into the other side. They're feeling like they're retaking parts of the map that they need to collect back, but they are slowly making their way in. Mike is watching that line, but obviously the toxic screen is up. And now cruising on out, looking to start to rotate over. Maybe they think they've actually left Eon.
Yeah, but how do you still play this if you are Mindfreak right now? 2 versus 4. You know your opponents have a couple of guns in the mix, albeit there's no shields. But at this point in time, Soju's also relatively low in HP. It has to be some great cohesive plays to come out from Mindfreak. They will be able to clear all of this site. But what do you do for post? Do you use the Viper's Pit? I mean, maybe. Yep, they do.
Very winnable, though, isn't it? You know, it is that 4-on-2 position, but we know Swirl's hungry. He's already picked up 3 frags, and we've had 2 aces in this game. You know, why wouldn't there be a third one to come on through? But, my God, he's almost hit that shot as well. But now, still inside the pit and looking to get aggressive. Do they want to swing out? Yes, they do. And it's a fantastic guiding light coming out from Soju. It's Counter-Strike all day, baby. Tensai and Soju close out the round, and it's map and series point here in the opening series of VOT 2022.
That was so beautiful to come through from them as well. You know, you really don't expect a flash at that point in time through the Viper's Pit. Maybe you do expect it, but hey, everybody was blinded there, and it was just the collection of kills. I talked about the cohesiveness. One player calls flash, other player flashes, and then they peek together. It's absolutely what you want to see. That's a 2 versus 4, remember, where there were no guns on Iconic side, yeah, for sure, but they started it off by getting everything. Forget about it. It's 12 rounds on the board for Mindfreak. This is for the series point to claim it 2-0. Can Iconic hold?
And I think that's the important thing, right? A 2-on-4 is a 2-on-4. No matter if you've got the weaponry advantage, you've still got to play it to perfection. and that's exactly what they did. But Bronski, he's a man that also is a big fan of perfection, and as he moves on in, that's going to be 2, and that's the site opened. Will he get aggressive, or will he hold true? Looks like it is going to be the opposite, but you're exactly right. He is going to try to take down something on towards this A site, but will be the spike going down on B, and now as the potential, the wall might blow up actually from those paint shells. Bronski's looking for more. He's keen, he's hungry, but he's also his own demise is now marching back on in. It's a 3-on-2, and all the pressure doesn't mount. We've seen Sicko do so many good things, the recon bolt, but the Trailblazer, it's gonna freeze him out, and now we see What in a 1-on-1 against Panic. Panic's on for 3, but it will be What, and ladies and gentlemen, there is your opening series victor in the form of Mindfreak. They certainly got a little bit scared towards the end there, but ultimately they ring true. They've got a solid attacking side, and they will be saying goodbye to Iconic in this opening map. But look, it's just the opener. We're not going to be seeing the last of these guys just yet. Group stages, baby.
Yeah, and of course, some big numbers being put up in the end as well. We've got over 20 for Sicko and for Ronski, Duddy Boy as well, getting 21 in the end. But I have to say, you know, Mindfreak, they were looking really, really good out of the get-go. You start to see a little bit of that resurgence from Iconic, but, you know, you flip on over to the other side, and it just really wasn't there for Iconic. A lot of those rounds, they were just playing with the pistols, and, I mean, Mindfreak were having the good reads, the good team plays as well. Things were looking up for them.
And I think it was on Iconic, right? Like, which is to be expected, you know, a team with minimal practice and obviously a sub in from Swirl. It was really those big individual performances that we started to see come through where they were the, you know, where the rounds were won. We saw Swirl go pretty big a couple of times, and that's sort of what, you know, I guess carried them forward. So a little bit disappointing to, you know, obviously see the game end up the way it did, but that's okay. Given that we just saw the Jukes come out there from Mindfreak in that way, it could have gone either way anyway, right? You know, it could have very well been that 2-0. And I guess that's an opening statement for Mindfreak. MJ's probably sitting there at some sort of GG Easy bar having a sip and, you know, being stoked that his team's managed to pick up the first dub. So congratulations to Mindfreak on the 2-0.
Yeah, no, that's it. And of course, it is the technical group stage. So we're going to still see all these teams at the moment. There's no eliminations as it is just yet, which is going to be good. For those wondering why we are, you know, I guess filling and talking at the moment, we do have an interview around the corner from the winners. So it is going to be finally great, Mitch, to get some insight again from these players. You know, it's been a little bit of that hiatus from us being able to, you know, completely talk to them with the visuals as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how the boys are doing at the new Mindfreak.
Yeah, for sure. And it is going to be What, which is really exciting. You know, we're talking about him earlier in the sense that he was one on the original Mindfreak roster, which was obviously well and truly different. You know, we saw that with like Ferg and Norson and all those guys. And, you know, he's found now his home in X-Chiefs, which has obviously been picked up by Mindfreak. So a massive shout out, like how nice it is to see orgs, you know, continuing to invest in Valorant, especially so early on. I do think it's going to keep happening as time does kick on, you know, with such big prize pools and obviously opportunity overseas. I think it's going to be a massive thing. So yeah, big shout to that. And yeah, really excited to pick What's brain when he does get in here to, you know, get an understanding of what the practice has been looking like. You know, it's early days. Yeah. That's their first official game together. And, you know, they started off with a bang.
Yeah, no, and of course you will be happy to get the dub, you know, maybe not in the way that you would have expected it, but that is what it is. We can't change that. I'm just trying to think. The brackets technically, or the group stage is already set out that we will know who they're going to be facing next. It'll be one of the other ones in their bracket, so it doesn't really matter until later on. But, you know, making the statement in that one is really good to be able to continue on in the rest of this leg of the journey.
Absolutely, but we do have the man himself on the line. It is What. Lewis, mate, congratulations on the opening win. You're looking good, mate. How you been? Ah, fantastic, man. And look, I guess I'll go straight for the, you know, meat and potatoes on it. Obviously, you've come in. It's a brand new roster for yourself. Long time of a break, right? It feels like it's been absolutely months since we've seen some real competitive sort of nature. What's this year looked like for you guys so far starting out for Valorant this year?
We've just been scrimming every night, just getting the practice ready. Because we were invited, we didn't get those officials for the open quals. So it's been a long break for us. But yeah, we've just been focusing, just working on the small issues, just getting the team chemistry up. But yeah, just having a good time doing that.
That's good to see you again, my man. One of the things that I want to know is, you know, last year, the progression, the team, everything to do with that, the team to beat was Order. They still up there, of course, for you. But who else do you see as some potential underdogs, some potential teams that you're going to have to be careful of?
I think maybe Trident is probably the team to look out for. I feel like just because they've had the chemistry for the whole year, last year, and then coming into this year, they've been in pretty hot form. I think they've probably got the most potential to cause a lot of upsets. But yeah, I think mainly just Trident.
Cool. Well, it is going to be an interesting year, and obviously this is the group. So, you know, what are you looking forward to? Like, is there anything you guys are going to be working on specifically over the next coming weeks?
Nothing particular, but we're looking forward to Face Order. We really want to take them off their pedestal and show that the region isn't as one-sided as people think.
No, it's good to see. I want to get your thoughts on Neon and I guess maybe Fracture, because we haven't seen that just yet. What do you think of those?
I think Fracture is actually a really good map. I really enjoy it. We've scrimmed it quite a lot, but Neon, I don't know. I think in ranked she's really good because you can just do dumb stuff, stun people, jump around corners like 3 times speed. But in competitive play, I feel like there's just better agents to fill that spot. I feel like putting a Neon over a Jet or let's say a Raze or even a Reyna, I feel like Neon's just outclassed. It's just too much. It's such a solo agent, but I could see people definitely whipping it out and having some cool stun grenades with it. But I don't think we'll see much competitive play of it anytime soon.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much, Lewis, mate, to get into your brand new. We're not going to hold you any longer. Go celebrate with the boys, and we'll see you back in a little bit. Thank you so much. So there we go. First interview down, Dion, of the year. It's an absolute treat to have on there. But obviously, we're going to be looking to take a very, very short break now, right? Where we do have another matchup around the corner. It's going to be exciting. It's Order and Fun Crew, and that's going to be a massive, massive one for us, right? We know the rosters that are falling out in front of us right now, but anything could really happen, right? Could be one-sided, could be close. We never know.
Yep, no, 100%. Of course, we are going to have a little bit of time between that. I think it's about 15 minutes until we get back in toward it. But yeah, no, Mitch, like you said a little bit earlier on, I don't know where to put my finger on this because the Order squad is kind of the known quantity coming into this, and the members of the Fun Crew side also on that same statement. But together, that's something we haven't seen.
Exactly right. So we look forward to it, guys. Make sure you go grab a drink, refresh yourselves, and then sit back in that chair and make sure you're ready for all the action for VOT 2022 when we're back with you shortly. Take care.
risky play. No, oh my god! The Viper's pin does get pulled on out. Clutchy dispatches of Easy, and there's another entry point.
Even with all the Viper units still down here from RDW, Bunda.
They do gather the information, and Myth has actually moved around onto the other side of this poison cloud. It's great on the hole. Another picked up by Myth. A third! He's oh my word! Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to 2022's rendition of the Valorant Oceanic Tour. My name is Mitch Conky Con Cannon, alongside me is Dion Komodo Parada, Konkmodo, back on your screen. And Dion, we had an explosive start in a bit of an interesting fashion, shameful forfeit, but then of course we saw Mindfreak kick it out of the park anyway with the 13-6 on bind.
Yeah, no, I did see up in the old Twitter sphere a little bit of the meme. You receive haircut, I receive map 1 forfeit victory, but unfortunately that's the way it is. Mindfreak do get the victory in the end, pretty cleanly so on bind after a stellar second half as well. But that kind of does pivot us into our next matchup, Mitch, which you know, might be one that you think would be more blown out of the water than potentially the first one, but we don't know, because whilst you know we know who is on the roster for Fun Crew and stuff, we've seen what they've been able to do before. It's going to be the first real big showing of what they're going to be able to do together.
I think it's a perfect time. Why don't we just introduce them and, you know, get talking, because that's exactly what we want to see. It's a mishmash. It's the old Direwolves and it's the old side of Bliss. It's Easy, Dragon, Precious, Kyoto, and Lou. Obviously, Dragon is the one that's been thrown in towards the end. He's a very, very exciting and flashy player. Obviously, we know Lou best for his, you know, his Rainer and his Jet that he likes to throw around. He was always an unknown prospect in quantity. He used to get sort of thrown around. Kyoto, guy's been around as long as time. He's our resident left-hand gamer. He likely will be the IGL, I would say, depending on sort of what he's doing, but typically more the supporting agents. And man, Precious and Easy, you know, we loved them. We saw them sort of come through in an interesting time, you know, coming from some various different games and, you know, really becoming a homestay in the Oceanic region for Valorant. So it's awesome to see them still like around in a different way. And I'm just sort of sitting here going, is this going to be like a better or worse version of that, you know, the two rosters? Because we've got the power, we've got the hunger. Let's see how it all goes.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You've got two really massive, flashy duelists to come on through and toward this roster in Lou and Dragon, both capable of pretty much playing, you know, your Rainas and your Jets, and maybe even your Neon. We'll have to wait and see. Probably not. But it's just going to be massive. You know, as you say it, we know that Fleshist is a massive name to come in toward this roster as well, whether it be on that Cypher, whether it be on that Sage. It's going to be really cool. But, Mitch, they're going up against pretty much the undefeated team of last year in Order.
Absolutely, in Order. They are a handsome bunch of boys, and of course this is a roster that hasn't changed. You know, they have been the household name for such a long time. Tux, Texter, Autumn, Disco, and Maple. I think, you know, one of the most famous words from Tux is, hey, the 5 members of my roster are better than anyone else in the region, and I think he's got a pretty close hard sell with all the firepower that's in this one. You know, people would be saying sort of Texter up there being one of the best players in the region. I don't doubt that at all. And then obviously we've got the flashy style coming out from Autumn and Disco and Maple. He has been, you know, the, I guess, quote-unquote latest addition to the roster. Also picking up the Sova, but still putting up some real big numbers. But yeah, Order, fantastic roster, homestay. Very excited to see them again.
Yeah, no, and of course, you know, you think about Texter as well, rocking on that IGL front, is really stepped in toward it. And then not to mention, or not to forget, rather, the coach, Dick Stacey. Everybody knows he's been around the joint to come on through, so bringing on what he needs to, it's going to be really sweet. I'm really keen to see what these guys are going to bring forward this year.
Well, before the game, we did actually manage to sit down with Tux, so why don't we listen to what he had to say.
We're feeling really good going into the group stages, to be honest. We started practicing pretty early, like 3rd of Jan or 4th of Jan, which is pretty early. Normally you wouldn't go back until like a week after, first week of Jan or something. We got straight into it, sort of getting back into the swing of things, working on new maps. Like Fracture came out kind of over the break. We're practicing that, learning that. Breeze has been changed, so relearning that a bit as well. They've kind of added like more boxes and some more things to hide behind and stuff like that. Like they've changed the B bomb side on Breeze and added a few more boxes and stuff like that, and a couple more walls, so it makes it easier to hold as defense. But everything's going really well at the moment. Where, you know, everyone's feeling really good, real positive environment. We just have the great balance of roles at the moment. Everyone plays their role extremely well, and everyone's used to it, and you know, they just know their role really well. We've put in a lot of work to be good at our roles, so I think teams that sort of lose a tournament or something, change roles, their entire roster, I think that's just to your detriment, really.
Get out, get out on a 10 side with a Bulldog, it doesn't work, and 2 versus 5 Order have gotten away with murder.
Having the same 5, same 6 with Dick as a coach, it kind of means a lot because we all get along really well. and we'd be able to make progress as a team and as individuals, whereas literally every other team has made pretty big changes, like pretty significant changes. So I feel like we have a step ahead in that. I think winning also keeps stability in the lineup, but we think we have like the best 5 we can have right now, and with Dick as a coach, with the best possible 6 we could have. So we're just enjoying that, and we're just trying to find every little thing that we can get better at, and we're just focusing on the progress and the process at the moment, and just enjoying it as much as we can.
And there we have it. It's, I think, just words from our mouth, right? Staying together, getting those dubs, and the 6-man roster, of course, with Dick Stacey as that coach is fantastic to hear. But I think Tux is, nail on the head there. As always, it's great to sit down and get his insight. But Dion, how early? Starting in, start of January, really diving on in. And that shows exactly how serious they are. They're still, a roster that's been around, backed by a big org, and hungry for more, especially with all the opportunity that will be coming up in Valorant this year.
Yeah, no, a refreshed team ready to kickstart the year, as well as a team, or an org rather, with a new logo and a new direction and stuff, which is really cool to be able to witness. But I think one of the biggest things to take away from what Tux has said there as well in the team front is, they've been sticking together, but it's the best 5 they feel they can have. And if all 5 of those members feel the same thing, and there's no sort of mucking about, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's no problems in the group, right? There's no struggles from any 2 players. There's no foundations breaking in the team. If you've got a team like that, that's just going to propel you so far, because sometimes all it takes is one player to be the rocky one, and the whole team can fall apart. And Order don't have that.
And as he said, they spent so much time trying to work out all the roles. We saw that earlier, like where I think at the start, we actually had Tux on the Jet and Texter sort of on the Duelist a little bit as well. And, obviously bringing in Autumn and Disco, that kind of changed. And now that they've got Maple in there, they've just basically like upgraded every single time. I mean, I missed Dick Stacey on that server. I will go out on the record and say that.
Breach.
But look, the man is also, and Breach as well, very good. But it's obviously awesome to still have him around the region too. But yeah, look, I think it's going to be a very, very dangerous task for Fun Crew tonight. But I'm excited to see how they go. So maps, as always, it's the big factor to understand what we're actually going to be seeing in the game tonight, Dion. And of course, it is a best of 3 series. It's going to be that classic ban, pick, ban, left over. And that's what we've got right here. So Order, speaking of Fracture, they've actually banned it out. So ultimately, we do end up with Breeze, Icebox, and Bind. So I'm absolutely okay with that. Something completely different to what we've had earlier. And we're going to be getting, 2 very exciting and different maps. Breeze, geez, Order on that map, that's terrifying.
Well, and Icebox as well, right? Yeah. It's just 2 maps that they really bring in. I mean, we just heard it from Tux. If it wasn't a spoiler as to what was to come, them picking Breeze, they've been working on it, working on a couple of those changes, defensive side, as Tux said, getting a little bit more cover around the map as well. That they're going to be able to exploit a lot of that and try to make this map look very cleanly. But I want to bring it kind of back and maybe draw from that video once again. If someone was keeping a very keen eye, you would have noticed at one point on Bind, there was a 12-4 scoreline over towards Bliss, which is technically a rendition coming in towards Fun Crew. There is a world in which this can go their way. There is a history there. So I do wonder, what this revitalization of the new year brings to both of these squads in this map pool, because it's a tried, it's a tested map pool.
Anything can happen, really, in these kind of games, especially in the fact that obviously Order, they've been working hard, but there might be some of these teams popping up out of the, out of the region that has, they haven't practiced against. They haven't, experienced what they've got to sort of throw at them. I doubt that's kind of the case, but again, anything can sort of happen here. But, I'm really excited, especially to see Texter likely on that Cypher on Breeze and, just all the dancing around, maybe Disco again on that Killjoy. But yeah, also just like between, the split of Dragon and Lou, that's another one that I'm sort of following along as well, because both of them, as you sort of mentioned, can pick up the Jet. Both can do a lot of work. I've seen massive players out of Lou, and obviously Dragon was a prospect. He's had a bit of time away, but now he's back. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm going to be looking out for there as well. And I definitely feel like the Direwolves roster, like, they always had way more potential than they actually showed. So maybe with a little bit of a shake-up in the sense that it's like only the 2 added into the 3, with Dragon as the the wild card, maybe something sort of changed in that area. So looking forward to watching along with that little storyline as well.
No, it's certainly going to have to be something that's going to be interested. We are, of course, with the delay again, just waiting for a player to be able to get in toward the server. It does look like some update issues because, on one of those special little patches that's to come in toward this one, Mitch.
And I think, look, it's understandable this time, right? We started the games a little bit early. Obviously, there was, changes up in the first map. So completely understandable that we're going to be pushing back with some time. But guys, we've got the call. We have to throw to a little bit of a holding. It's going to be about 30 minutes. And again, understandable. One of the players is just updating his client, making sure that everything is all hunky-dory. So guys, don't go too far. maybe go get a drink, maybe get some popcorn, and then we'll see you back very, very soon with, of course, Order versus Fun Crew. See you guys shortly.
Show me what you got. Back down, back up, back down, back up. 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 Show me what you got. me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back. Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 ba
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you again all for your patience. It's been an interesting evening, but look, you know, things happen, right? So we are pretty close to getting a our second series, first map of the other series underway. This is Konkmodo on your screens once more, and I do believe we should have our final player joining the server in just a second. So Dion, why don't we sort of recap those map picks and you know, understand to everyone what we're looking to expect in this second series of the night.
So we're going to be starting off with Breeze, of course, that has been picked out here by order, which is going to be cool. We did get to hear in the interview earlier on from Tux that there's been a little bit of a reform on this map for the squad of order. And again, you know, there's not too much that we can really draw upon on the side of info from Fun Crew on this one. So it's going to be in the server that we're going to see everything pull on forward. And then we're going to switch it over into Icebox, which I'm going to be really keen-eyed on as well. I think in this whole map pool right now between these two teams, my hype is going to be beyond, for Icebox rather. I think we're going to see a lot come out for them. And then if we need it, Bind is where we're going to come to the close.
Yep, no, absolutely. Breeze, you know, starting off really, really strong. It's going to be super exciting to see the structure there. But good news as well, just to let everyone know, we do have the final player in the server. So I do believe we'll be getting underway in just a second. So to remind you all and to welcome you all back, of course, it is VOT 2022. This is going to be the second game of the evening. And as the players are all readying up, it is, of course, Fun Crew versus Order. And we do have that head-to-head as well to bring to you, because I know that Fraser's been working hard, getting the things done in the background. It's easy, and against Maple. To our understanding, Dion's still the Sova matchup here.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. You would expect the Sovas to be coming through on a map like Breeze and on Icebox as well. So I dare say we're going to continue that consistency and see the Sova pick out from these guys, unless they've got a different plan of attack that they're willing to showcase in the group stages. But we do know, Mitch, that when it comes down to the punch, you bring out your new and really pivotal plays over in toward the final area to try and get that real one up on your opponents. But for all things considered here, these guys should be running in with the Sovas, and you can see from the stats there as well that we know the firepower is going to be behind these players.
Absolutely, and I think the exciting thing is here, you know, this game could go kind of one of two ways, right? It's going to be an absolute stomp in one regard, you know, expecting Order to come out absolutely swinging. Obviously, our, premier team that has been the team that's hung around for the longest. Obviously, we got to speak to Tux prior to the game about how the boys have been going, how the practice has been, you know, obviously with Dick Stacey and coach getting everything done. Lots of work, making sure the roles are all correct and everything along those lines. And on the other side, Fun Crew, it could be a really exciting one, right? You know, they're a team that players on there we've always watched along and gone, my God, they could be so good, but we'll just have to see, right, how it's all going to play out. But finally, Dion, we are here for map and series number 2 of the evening. Of course, it's Fun Crew versus Order, and it looks like everyone's going to be diving in very, very quickly onto those agent selections. And to my expectation, it's Texter on that Cypher.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the flip side as well. My eyes don't deceive me. This is a mirror match. So things are about to get interesting. It literally does come down to which team plays the agents better.
And I think, you know, we obviously all kind of have an understanding of what we're going to be expecting, but it is going to be Dragon moving on to that Sky, which is a big thing, right? And look at all the player. They're all the player cams. Oh, we're just missing Kyoto. That's okay. We're pretty close. This is good. So ready to rock and roll. The guys are ready to boogie, but yeah, so Dragon on that Sky, Disco obviously doing a similar thing. They're the two that do have that kind of roster flex. Dude, we've even got the jerseys
The
out.
new
Let's
jersey.
go.
All right, so Swifty has our dresses.
Yeah,
jersey?
I could get around that. Thank you, Papa Swifty. Thank you, our sir. And obviously a massive shout out everybody along here to a lovely team, the production team. Obviously, we've got Fraser on the sticks and Crashman in the server, getting it all done. Rosa and Carlin and you know, making sure that everything does go a-okay. So it's been a really, really good run so far, you know, and an enjoyable start, obviously with some hiccups, but look, honestly, at the end of the day, couldn't be happier to be back on camera. Konkmodo, Dion, VOT 2022, it is the opening evening. Obviously, we've got Tony and Natsi tomorrow, Mac and Pilski Sunday, and then everyone will be joining us back. But let's dive straight into Breeze.
Alrighty, over to the B side of things we look for the startup. That's a double reveal on the Recon Dart, so already some information for the side in order. Now, the tunnel is a little bit dirty at the moment. You got the cross stream of the Viper toxic screens. You know what they say, don't cross the stream, but apparently here you do. And the shot's already out. Tux dispatching a Kyoto.
Yeah, information gathered very, very quickly. So now Lou looking around, does spot out actually a couple. Disco very much on that line, and we'll get the early dink up as well. So that's good damage already to come through from Order. They're still holding mid very, very casually, but the regrowth is there for Dragon, so he should be able to heal up his teammate in Lou nicely. They are still creeping towards this B position, but that's the classic Texas Cypher lurk right there. Still waiting to see if anyone will push through, but Dion, it does look like we're going to be seeing an explosion onto B.
Yeah, and of course, I did just notice the Flesh just has checked his cam over at the A side, so he's still got the coverage there if need be, but that's where things do start to pivot for the side of Order, but it might start to come back towards B. Autumn gets a frag, maybe even another one, but his damage is done. He's brought the defenders over toward the site. Now his team can just go in toward the A site if they need to. Flesh just has seen that that is there. He's got his camera for the post plan as well. He looks to reveal it early, and now it's destroyed.
He was waiting the entire time. Texter, Big Brain, Maple gonna be dropping down Fleshes, so it is a 2-on-4 advantage going the way of Order. Door's going to open up. Lou's trying to get a couple of shots over towards Maple, but won't quite be able to find anything just yet, so it's going to be a tough retake. That's a great shot from Lou there, but unfortunately it's left all onto just him. Maple showing the shock darts up. Might get some further info. A dink shot, so he's at least keeping them at bay here, Dion, but I don't think it is going to be much more. A little bit of damage, but ultimately it will be Order leading the charge, and a great start here on Breeze.
Just got to say, Maple, circle crosshair, love it. Looks like a little bit of a smaller proto one, but I do rate the circle crosshair myself. First round on the board, Mitchell, does go the way of Order. Some damage out from Lou, though. So you talk about damage, talk about potential, get those jet blades out nice and early. Could look to have things sorted. But for the attackers, you know, they've got the purchase up in this new round. Autumn going to be dancing around with the Marshall. There's a Vandal out for Tux, which is quite early. So definitely wants to make sure he's going to be holding on toward that one. But for the side of the Fun Crew, they have already lost Easy, and this round is just about damage. Take any weapons out of the hands of Order and make them a little bit more vulnerable coming through the next round. Lou will take down the Marshall. I don't know, maybe he still opts to play with the Sheriff, though?
I have to see. But, you know, he's made that purchase. He's invested in gently, and he will be able to at least bring it back to a 4-on-4, but still very, very slow. Texter with the deep camera. Does get it taken out, however. So they are just going to play time. Slowly creeping up now, as Texter does have a sight for free. Dragon inside mid, trying to push down towards the elbow there. It looks like the rest of the team will be joining him, and of course they've got the weaponry to do so. Tux with the Vandal. It's really just going to be on to Lou to see if he can do anything with that Marshall that was recovered.
Well, the plant's going to go down. I'm surprised no ulti orb made good use of as well, but you talk about that flank. It could certainly get a little bit of damage on out later on. Text up, dumping all this util nice and early to deny any forward movement of the Fun Crew side. And now here comes a little bit of a different lurk out from Maple, but this is just kind of what you expect in a round such as this. Maybe one or two players losing their lives, but it does at the end go over towards Order.
Yep, exactly right. Nice and slow, easy done. Good damage to come out from Lou to at least find one, but of course that was that eco. Now they're going to be moving into that full buy, the bonus round to come through on the side of Order. Obviously with Tux still holding onto that Vandal, and Autumn is actually going to be investing as well. So one member not buying into the bonus, just going to be picking up straight into it. Don't blame him. You know, he's a player that obviously very, very proficient on that Vandal. But yeah, 5 Vandals on the side of Fun Crew, and this is their opportunity to really sort of strike back early. Because, you know, we have seen it in the past. Very, very one-sided scorelines on a map like Breeze. It is a challenging one to play, I would say, Dion. That's probably the best way to put it.
Certainly can be. You know, you need to be really cohesive as a team, really rely upon flanks, and if you can do that quite nicely, you can come out with an absolutely beautiful map. But it does look like a potential flank out from Tux in this round, as everybody for Order is just marauding around the A site. Now they do start to come on through. The trap of Fueshis is going to get already taken on down. Recon Dart not going to be able to get a ping out, but just look at what this util is doing from both sides. It's just trying to deny time from everyone.
And they've managed to hold it off for a very, very long time. Still, all members of Order fearful, not looking to get out at all. Autumn, he's looking to start to fall away now. There was a bit of chip damage done onto the old Cypher of Fueshis, but now it's going to be that mid-rotation. Dragon is in a good position. He should be able to hear a whole lot of audio, but it's going to be a lot of pressure onto him. He's hearing the footsteps now, and he has to warn his teammate in Kyoto, making sure that they know exactly where they're cruising along to, and he will start to fall his way out. So 40 seconds, B-site hit will be the one to occur. How is FunCrew going to deny this one? Good utility usage from Kyoto.
Yeah, the snake bite by a little bit of time, get a little bit of damage on through. He'll be destroying the dart, but not getting pinged out by it. This drone is looking for something. It looks like we're going to switch things up very late in the piece, as Autumn had played the little lurk roll. If you can get one pick, that would be really good for Order to come through the mid doors. Looks like they're going to have to try and bully their way in through here, but Fueshis manages to drop this spike. It's 10 seconds to get it down. Autumn has cleared the close side of the site, so they can get that plant down, and he's even gone forward to find loot.
How have they managed to find that in the end? Just by the skin of their teeth. It is going to be 3 seconds to get it done, but now into a 3-on-3. Dragon has managed to equalize, and it is Texter on that lurk, still looking to try and pick up some extra control as the rest of the members move in towards CT. One on the bridge. He's going to be taken down by Autumn. Good damage to come through. Second frag in the way. That is a very, very big reveal there as Dragon looking to try and do some chip damage onto Autumn, but he's not going to be able to find it. Texter on the lurk. Disco on the closer. And another very, very low and slow round from Order, but they managed to close out another round.
Yeah, and you think about the staple around that round as well. When you add the bonus term toward it, makes things nice and smooth, specifically on the attacker's side of this map. Because when you talk about the changes coming in toward it, it gives a lot more space for defenders to protect themselves around. And for right now, Order are really getting in toward FunCrew's face on the back of all that utility to force them out, force them into uncomfortable scenarios, and really just as a unit come together, collect upon a couple of nice crossfires. It's really looking good for Order in the beginnings of this one. They're going up against the Sheriffs again, so maybe Lou's going to be able to show us something special. But apart from that, Order already flowing through toward this A site.
Control, however, is looking to be established. Tux is going to be able to drop down easy, however. A little bit of punishment, looking to make it further. Is he getting a third? Yes, he will. Tapping away, nice and easy. And the round's done before we can even really get into it at that point in time. Nicely done from Order, but obviously just an eco. Seeing FunCrew try to take that mid control, and it's not going to be happening. So once again, nicely done from the side of Order as they continue to keep on kicking.
Keep on kicking. You need to continue on going for them as well. But this is the time for FunCrew to start to get things happening in this map. Yes, they've got a couple of ults to play with. Order do have more. They can really push themselves in toward A site to gain the control. But I'm already seeing a lot of these A site things happening in the beginning. A lot of pings on toward the map from the side of Order. So they're going straight in toward it. But it looks like FunCrew are ready for it. Oh, yeah. Hang on. That wolf missed.
Oh, they're still looking to do something with it. Lou trying to get a little bit sneaky and freaky, but it won't quite occur. Now, Maple sending the owl drone out to try and fend them away, which is successful. Lou spotted out, and they actually managed to hit the mark there. Nicely done. Hunter's Fury. Is Lou going to be punished for it? He will a little bit. He's taken a whole lot of damage, but there's Tux to find the opener. Maple ultimately does get Lou in the end. This is absolute brutality right now, Dion.
And the Seekers
looking hot to trot, yeah.
They're even pushing forward to try and get some more information. The spike eventually is going to make its way into the side. If Fueshis wins this duel against Texter, that is cause to go for a retake for the side of FunCrew, but using his utility as best as we know it, he's just going to get across, and it has to be the save call for FunCrew to give themselves another chance in toward the next round. And I'm looking towards my scoreboard right now to sort of see where they're at. Dragon's going to be one away from the Seekers. Blades are ready for Lou. So they definitely will be going in with, your 4 technical guns when you consider 3 Vandals being saved over. So it's going to be plausible. And Luke can even drop over Dragon. So they're going to have everything they need to go at it again.
Yep, that should be fine.
I guess the only scary prospect is the fact that we already see 5 rounds picked up by Order, looking super, super solid, obviously on this map of Breeze, but is to be expected, right? You know, the amount of times I've seen them pull away sort of the 13-2, 13-3 results, very, very, very dominating. But Kyoto at least does manage to walk away with 1, and he will live on, but Tarks, he's also managed to do some damage on the Fleshes as well, so the prospect of the purchase does start to slip away, Dion. But they are going to invest regardless anyway here. So it's going to be a Bulldog for Fleshist. Dragon actually forgoes and drops back to the Sheriff, but Lou has the Operator, and hopefully he's going to be able to do some work with that. And if we are going to talk slightly different as well, hey, that Order roster decision, man.
Yeah.
Check Twitter, guys. I can't talk about CS on a Valorant stream, right?
It's no secret that Conky and I also follow CS, and that roster move is one that we're both going to be very, very keen to watch and cast. So we'll see. But Mitch, as you mentioned, the Operator, I'm thinking here that we're going to be seeing the Vandals cross the board and them doing something with that. No, they're going full into Order with a secret, with a surprise. I dare say after a save, Order aren't going to be expecting a Operator to be here, but unfortunately, for the side of Fun Crew, it's on the wrong side of the map to where the action is.
Take flight.
So once again, just trying to gather some further info. Flesh just not spotting out anything. He will tag the drone in the end, so does kind of give away his position to a degree. But they're still playing it very, very slow. It's one thing that Order have done super well so far, you know, very much keeping Fun Crew guessing. And with Autumn already out in that forward position, Texter has actually been slowed down by the old shock dart this time, but Kyoto already in position up towards the site. Time is ticking, 40 seconds as Texter, the IGL, trying to start to lurk on out. Maybe, just maybe he'll make a call to sort of change up the pace, make a different decision, but also maybe not, because they do look like they're still pretty keen on that A side here.
Yeah, it's another late one, isn't it? 20 seconds to get that spike on down, and they start to encroach upon the position of Kyoto, but he finds 2. Wasn't expecting that one, was Autumn. A bit of a ping for some info. Another one on the clock for Kyoto, dropping the spike. There's the 4th, looking for the ace, and he can't quite line it up, as Texter's time to shine is now. He'll need to get the spike as well, but with 10 seconds from the announcer, it might get the better of him, and there is Lou to close it down, but Kyoto, head on a swivel, taken out 4. Insane.
Man, finally seeing it happen, and of all players, it's Kyoto, the man on the Viper, who's actually stepping up to do it. As we said, the man has been around for quite some time, you know, thinking back all the way to, you know, the old Tainted Minds, where we saw them represent Australia over at the Face It Major, I believe it was, you know, rolling it back the years, very much so. But yeah, look, he's been a staple in the scene, and it's cool to see him, you know, finding his way, obviously, in Valorant as well. But that's a great, very big round. Nice lockdown on the Viper to find the very, very first round here for Fun Crew, and it's at a good time. We will have the Viper's Pit go down early. That will obviously be coming out from Kyoto himself, and that will allow the rest of the team to kind of play around different parts of the map.
Yeah, I'm going to be keen to see how Autumn is going to utilize the Operator in this round as well. I don't believe Flashes was seen out by the Trailblazer, so a little bit of non-information there for the side of Order, but they do have this mid presence and control. Dragon waiting outside the nest. He's got his Flashes available in those guiding lights, but just playing the patient line at the moment. They know they don't need to overextend. Now, is this camera open? Yes, it is. It's seen, and Autumn will take that one down. So you start to consider a bit of a lean to move from the A site to the B area. But again, you can't just consider that a solid factor. Order or a team that is just so dynamic in changing their approach time and time again. And with 50 seconds, that information's already gone from what Fun Crew have been able to find.
Sending that owl drone out, once again spotted, but there's Lou with the opener onto Autumn here. So buying time a little bit more. Damage dealt onto Maple, however, and they might actually get some info on that recon drone, but maybe not. Maybe not, already a little bit too further forward there, and Easy will actually be punished as a result. Kyoto still inside that Viper's Pit. He's been in there the entire time, checking inside main. Nobody home. Will he be able to find anything? Very, very nicely done with the ultimate there to come out, getting the information as Lou picks up another, but eyes are focused onto Kyoto, and Flesh just to find another. Just the one ultimate to do so much, as Flesh just will be able to find it as well. Kyoto, last man standing to find Texter.
Sniffing him out.
Man, the mix of ultimates though, Dion. The Viper's Pit into the Neural Theft. Like, how good is that?
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to be able to stack them together. But the thing is, you can't be able to do that time and time again, right? They're not built like that. So now it does come down to the raw capacity of what we're going to see from a Fun Crew. Although if you do want to consider the stretching into order, Dragon is one away from the Seekers. You got Easy 2 from the Hunter's Fury. But again, you flip it on the other side. Bladestorm, Neural Theft, Viper's Pit, all available from order. And it is a setup over towards the B site this time. We've got Kyoto here. We've got Fleshes to look for a little bit of the defense. But order, they're not one-dimensional. You know they're going to be splitting the approach.
Absolutely. Always a dangerous, dangerous threat, this order roster. You know, again, the guiding light of our region as it does go out towards that B site. And look at the pacing now coming out from the side of order. They have been a little bit slow, a little bit more methodical here, but Dragon's actually going to be punished as a result of it as they continue to waltz on through the old Cypher's cage. But now the information is going to be gathered. Order picks up another. And with the Neural Theft going out, they've got the information, and it's going to be easy spotted out. Little mark, but this might be a bit too much for Fun Crew to try and chew off here.
Yeah, Cheeky Cam down in the distance as well. Easy spotted out. Trailblazer to assist in a little bit of time buying. It's just is Easy and Lou to see what they can do. And it might just be on the priority to save this AWP. There's my Counter-Strike. The operator in toward the next round. Texter is going to take out Easy. And now it is just Lou to see what he can do with the boomstick. There is one. Manages to escape and dash into the wall.
Oh,
yeah, that's a headache that you are not going to be able to escape, unfortunately.
And all I'm going to say, by the way, Dion, is that's 2 Counter-Strike references for you, 0 for me. Conk on top tonight, baby.
Hang on, 2?
Yeah, you called it the bomb before as well.
Oh, I did too, yeah. All right, look. It's first broadcast of the year, and it has been a while.
Exactly. And also, I was meant to shout out Ninum earlier as well. I completely forgot about that. I hope he still plays, hey. That was, like, such a hot... such a shot.
Yes. That's my reaction, yes. He's on Meow Meow Mitch. He will be playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Seekers getting laid on through. We already do say see you later to Tux, so there's no smokes now available for the side of order, unless you do consider the cloud burst out from the jet. But now in losing Disco, makes things a little bit more difficult. And I guess you could say the cages of Texter as he's creeping his way in. Drone to reveal, has to get out of dodge, which he does manage to do. But how to order re-attack this one from here?
Yeah, plenty of damage dealt, but obviously always a scary prospect when Autumn's alive with the Bladestorm to come out. But Texter does manage to find the opening, so starting to equalize slightly. But look at this forward motion now. Texter picks up another, but Fleshes actually doesn't peek through at the exact same time. A little bit cautious there, but the Seekers do come out. The Cabbages to try and take the further info, but there's Dragon to pick up another. However, Texter still tapping. There we go, though. The ultimate will connect, and Fleshes picking up one more. Autumn will get taken down, and Dion, there is a little bit of movement here as Fun Crew start to collect a couple of rounds on this map.
Yeah, 3 on the board, starting to piece something together toward the scoreline of order, who have already at least equalized at the half with that exchange in the middle. So, yeah, 6-6 is very plausible, but we do get another purchase to come through for the side of order in this next round. And I don't know, what sort of approach are we going to see? Back towards mid for them with a little bit of an A flourishment. It does look like it's going to be a little bit more heavy over to the side of A. You've already got that toxic screen going on down. Again, Texter laying down that normal Cypher camera over through towards the bottom of mid. So he's going to come down to the variety of the A side. Now, I actually wonder, are they going to go fast? They will have to try and bully themselves past Lou, who doesn't have an operator this time, but they still have to be very cautious of that. I don't know for certain.
Absolutely, and it's another sort of slow start, you know, once again, just seeing if Texter can find a little bit of a pinch over towards that middle area on the Cypher, but nothing has been spotted so far. It's just going to be a cruisy little journey in towards the site with the Owl drone. Lou looking to try to spot out something. I'm not sure if he actually did get collected on the information there, but it's not going to matter because Tux actually does manage to pick up one. But now it's the Chaos coming out with that Hunter's Fury. And another one actually to come on through as well. Tux rather, tagged up, but unfortunately Easy Quiet can't collect it, so he's got to try and pick up something more here. Disco definitely playing with fire. But look at Texter. He's still outside those doors as all 3 members come through CT. Are they going to be able to retake this site?
Yeah, well, some shots on through. Easy with that dart. Could get a bit of a reveal on towards Tux, but he does manage to destroy it nice and early. And now Disco picking his head up. Maple to find one. Things going swimmingly for Order. And there you do have it. Kyoto good for one in the end, but it really doesn't amount to anything. That's going to be the half over towards Order no matter what. But how far forward can they look to extend it? We're going to be getting a half buy on the side of Fun Crew in this new round because they don't quite have the funds to go the full distance. So maybe some individual heroics to be called upon. Maybe you got a little bit of the team stack. It does look like we're getting 3 players over toward the A site for them in the beginning of this one. So we'll have to see how that is going to pan out.
This is a nice spot.
A little bit of Hall's control is looking to be on Order for Autumn as well. So a bit of a slower pace one potentially for Order, but more aggression for Fun Crew here, Mitch.
Already down, straight through those doors. Lou hunting. And he does have the right fishing rod to do it. Bladestorm out. But does hear the footsteps from a couple of cheeky members, and this is always the scary prospect, right? Like looking for the potential updraft to try and spot that information over, but always thinking, where is Texter? What's he doing? Autumn ready for the walk straight through the tube, and he's going to be able to collect one as well. So Lou is actually spotted out, gets tagged up in the process. There is regrowth still up, but I think he's a little while away. So ultimately, it's still another round where Order play it very, very low and slow.
Oh, beautiful shot to come out from Tux straight on the Sidewinder. And now that rotation does have to come out from Fun Crew. Again, you know, they do have the lesser weaponry here. Dragon does have a Guardian, so maybe we can see some big old head crackers come out from that one. The brains being split, but as the plant goes down, it's still all 5 alive for Order. Some info off Maple, even a tag on towards Fleshes, and with the lurking Autumn now, it's going to be really difficult for Fun Crew to get something. But timing, oh, Fleshes does just peel away.
Will be able to spot out anything? Yes, he will. One, tap in, and nice and easy. Is it going to be the 4K? Dashes away. He's only got the classic out, so Maple's going to be able to pick that one up for him. But it's another pretty decent run here from Order so far. You know, they've shown their, you know, that they are mortal a couple of rounds in a row, but ultimately it still is them very much leading the charge. The attacking side of Breeze can be a big old challenge, but they are looking to still get the job done here very, very consistently as Order look to take it to the task. It's the final round of the half, and Autumn, we're actually going to be seeing him on the Operator for the first time in this half, the old Dragon. And on the other side, no Operator for Lou. They're just going to keep on pushing. So yeah, Kyoto leading the charge on the other team. And look at the frags. Like, I mean, there is a little bit of disparity when it comes down to Dragon and Easy, but the other 3 players, have all been putting in some rounds. So it shows how close some of these rounds have actually been.
Well, this one has to be a good one for Fun Crew to get it to that 4-8 halftime scoreline. Otherwise, it's 3-9, and you're thinking about Order taking this map pretty cleanly, potentially. But we will wait and see. Some good positioning from Lou, already pushing up through B main. Clearance of the window as well, but things do transition over towards the A side. A ping on a Kyoto with 30 HP. It's going to be difficult for him to get something here. Wants the heal from the regrowth, but got a little bit of warning shots. Only an echo for now.
Yeah, whether or not we're actually going to be able to spot out Lou in this position. Autumn watching over towards the stairs. No head to be found yet. Dragon is actually going to get spotted out quickly. So that's Tux with the toxins. Putting him down very, very quickly. The skin to actually, you know, line up nicely with the agent. Now Flesh is trying to push his way through the decay. He will get out. Very, very sneaky here. So the rotation actually looks pretty good. Oh, I don't know, Lou. Is that you're going to be able to hear anything else? He does spot one. Gets the Cloudburst down to afford himself some extra space. But already, all of a sudden, there's actually a little bit of a throwback put into this one. But Tux, okay. 3K to come on through. Lou now moving through, but do they rotate? Where do they go? It's a very, very challenging one here for Fun Crew. But spotting out one more. Flesh just gets another Dion. It's a 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's anything possible right now. You got that camera for some info, but Fleshes just missed the timing on it. The plant to go down a little bit more wide as Tux has already got himself on toward the bridge. And a Neural Theft is actually going to reveal Tux at the moment, going for the drop. And a dart now available from Maple as well, but Tux removes the head of Fleshes, and Maple will find Lou to steal it away. Hey, you know that they don't really care about the clip at the end of the day. They want the dub, and the 9th is over to Order.
Exactly right. There'll be a stone cold gaze, I'm sure, from the side of Order there as they do move into the half. Very, very strong there. 9-3 is a fantastic position to be in as they move on to the defender side of their map selection in Breeze. And yeah, again, checking out those jerseys. Tux and Texter living up to the part. Beautiful stuff. It's just making me miss LAN. We're getting closer though, Dion. I can feel it. It's in our sights.
For those wondering, Conky and I have been casting together for about 3 years, let's say.
It's probably pretty close to 3 years,
casted together on LAN once.
Yeah, by the time we finally started to sort ourselves out and build the synergy, that's when
No, because it was the end of 2018. Start of 2019, wasn't it? Yeah, because it was all of COVID, and then it was way before that as well, because I brought you on for LPL's second season.
Indeed, but now the action starts to come through as Texter does actually get the opener here, but Fleshes will at least afford himself with the trade, tagging through paper thin walls in Valorant, as we do know, but now it's going to be a very, very tough position for Texter here. Kyoto managing to find him, getting through aggressive. Lou to pick up one more, and now he does hear a member. Cheeky heading towards mid, and Tuts with the old min and peek around the corner with that classic, getting the job done. All on to just Maple here. Getting the spike planted, however, easy. Looking to spot around. Maple's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, but the shock dart, it does get a little bit of damage. They're both relatively low here. A couple of shots out, but that toxic screen gets out the decay. Maple goes for the reload. 70 HP to dance around the pyramids. Down to 10. That's going to get a reveal and a side swing out from Easy. It's 1 HP for Maple, and it's about 10 for Easy. One shot from either, and it's going to go down to Easy as well to just get the round on the board for Fun Crew.
There you go. Making it happen, a very, very important position to find, continuing the game onwards. 4 rounds, certainly a respectable position to keep on marching forward. If they manage to pick up, obviously, this, I guess, you know, second round, obviously, if we don't see Order try and invest in, which they're not going to at all, it appears. Maybe picking up some utility here. It looks like Texter has done exactly that, but everyone else sticking to their classics. Maple's picked up a shorty because it looks like they're going to be charging straight in towards that position. However, inside A main is the go, but Maple sitting back. He could do some damage with the shorty here, Dion.
Potentially so. It's always a little bit tantalizing, that gun, and demoralizing when you do die to it, but that is a story for another day. Let's see if he does get cleared out, because he has to destroy the drone with the shorty, and that kind of gets the jig up, but getting in front of it, there's a kill. Now he's pretty much dead to rights, but I think in the grand scheme of things, Mitch, you've got a shorty. That's your job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Finding that opening frag and still being able to force them back a little bit. Anything can happen in a round like this, but it's 4 classics and they are moving through. There is the tripwire available, looking like they're going to be breaking that one, but moving as a unit here. All 4 members coming in from that flank, and now they start to march on in. The snakebite from Kyoto is there to at least buy them some further time, but the camera also out to give a further little bit of information. However, it looks like Order aren't over-aggressing. They're just going to take some time, see if they can have anyone catch on an exit. Dragon looking towards mid, 1, 2, but he will get traded. So again, this is good damage, just finding as many of those weapons as possible, Dion, is all they really need to do.
Yep, pretty much. And of course, go up with the spike. You don't want to be saving the classic over into the next round, but I guess it doesn't really matter if you're going to be dying on a bulldog as well. But a little bit of a flash does come on through, and now the kills are looking to be found. Surely not. Disco with the classic does get 1, and now Autumn can just do what he wants. It doesn't really matter at the end. There's a buy to come in the next round for this side of Order, and with 3 kills coming out in the end of that round, Fun Crew don't have the greatest of weaponry to back themselves up in this next round. You know, we saw a collection of bulldogs from them there, Inspectors. They only carry 2 over.
Yep. Obviously, Lou on the jet, investing more on the bonus because he can pick up the Blade Storm in a little bit. Hopefully that would be the goal for him in the next couple of rounds, but the rest of them will all sit back, you know, holding on to the Spectres and, of course, the Sheriff. Dragon still managed to hold on to that Bulldog, as he mentioned, but all Fury now. And a very, very aggressive start towards A main as well.
Oh, look at that. Straight biting, crunching onto the opponents. But what will it amount to right now is it's a little bit of a halt to come through for Fun Crew. Really utilizing Easy's damage on those shock darts on the drone. What can he get out with this utility? Was nothing out of those shockies as well. It's just the pushback on towards Order. So some vital util on an already weakened purchase now for Fun Crew. Everybody grouped up in the cave as well. There's a lot of bets being hedged on the same tile here.
Alrighty, there's that first recon bolt to come on out. We'll have the Cloudburst go over the top, but already lots of information being gathered, and there's Texter with 1. Look how hungry he is to try and find some more, but that is going to be the Viper's Pit. However, it's not going to matter just yet. Texter still wants more. Looking to find Easy here. Maple gets 1, but Texter on for 4. Beautiful. Love to see it. And whilst it is only, of course, a bonus, it's 5 alive for Order and a 4K for Texter. Looking very, very clean with it. We've had a few big plays individually so far through the competition, and this is only map number 2 of the night.
Yeah. So I could try and break that round down as much as possible, but I think right now the faces on our screen just say what that round was. It's laughs, it's cohesion, it's just great unity to come through from the side of Order, and they're really not feeling pressured at the moment. They know coming in with their first purchase that they come away with it flawlessly, that they're shaping themselves out nicely, and here is a perfect example of an over purchase in a previous round after that bonus. You know, they lose all the guns in the second, they have to try and juggle something in the previous, and with it not going their way, they're down towards a pretty lackluster purchase coming to this round, which once, you know, if it goes the way that we expect it to, Order to get another big lead coming forward, and Tux has already taken out Lou.
Man, look at that confidence, just straight in there from Tux, looking around elbow, already picking up some frags and hearing the Cypher's cage. Plenty of info, enough for the rotation to come on through. But it looks like Easy is happy to start to fall away from there as well. The rest of the team will be rotating. They've not really got much to work with, as we know, but Order have done a pretty good job of scaring them off so far already.
Yeah, but in the hands of Autumn, how many is he going to be able to find here? Does well to dodge out the flash, but he's missing a couple of shots. 1 and 2, as quick as you like it. And now it is just down to 2 on the side for Fun Crew to see what they can get back. Easy, coupled with Kyoto. And, well, apparently they can't get past Maple, unfortunately. Maybe a spike plant out here, but it is shaping up to be another flawless round for the side of Order. There you do have it. No plant either.
Spots him out, gets the job done, exactly what Maple needed to do. A flawless run to close out an 11th, and they're still looking clean. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, I think so far we've seen some pretty good things to come out from Fun Crew. It'd be interesting to actually get a bit more of an insight into the players as how the practice has been going, what it's been looking like. Because across the board, you know, we already know what's been in Camp Order. We've been watching them for such a long time, and obviously whilst their legacy still rings true, I'm very excited and interested to see what it's actually going to look like for all the other rosters, you know, Honey Badgers, Meow Meow, you know, obviously Bonk and all those other teams that we've been looking at and seeing them all come in. I have no idea what to expect, and as much as I've tried to follow and I've got back into Valorant and trying to pick it all back up again, it's just going to be an exciting first couple of weeks. And
yeah,
you know, I'll certainly be watching, obviously, Big Tones and Matsy on camera tomorrow, and then, of course, Mac and Pilsky. And, you know, all I can say is, Mac's looking jacked.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'll probably be a little bit iffy on Sunday because I get that big old booster, but we'll see. I'll make time.
Oh, don't talk to me about it. I'm falling over. I feel like someone's beat me up. But that's okay. We do the right thing to get forward because all I want to do is see my homies over East, but we'll get there eventually when Daddy Mark lets me out. But until then, we've got Valorant. It's online. It's handsome. And they're working towards some big, big things later in this year. Lou opening up, getting one onto Tux. Texter very much in that forward position here. Will they clear it? Will they actually look around? Easy doesn't use the drone information. Patience, 1. Will he pick up a second? He will, but he might be traded. No, it's going to be a 3rd, and Fleshes is up close, but at least he does manage to find that frag. Yeah, exactly right. It's still a 2 versus 3. Doable. Very doable 2 on 2.
Yeah, it's big shots. You saw that they destroyed his camera a little bit earlier on, but it doesn't really matter. I want to touch upon. I want to bring this back a little bit later. Dragon on towards Disco in the Sky Dispatch, and now the Seeker's out to get the info on exactly where the last member in Autumn is. The angles, the dink on the dash as well, but the plant has to be brought in toward this one. He does have enough time for it, but Autumn, what angle does he look to play here? A great guiding light on out. It's a bit deep, and it doesn't get him because of the smokes on the floor, but Autumn does find the headshot as Dragon doesn't. It's a 12th here for Order. And now, Mitch, one thing that I did want to say upon before is the camera was in B main earlier from Texter. They destroyed it from the window, and they didn't clear under window. So that is a big fault of Fun Crew, and they lose 3 players because of it. It's a costly mistake.
We saw it happen earlier as well, didn't we? Where Lou managed to get down to that position and find a couple to put a stopper in the aggression towards B from Order. So we're definitely seeing a lot of versatility come on through, and how important it is to check those corners. But in a game like Valorant, you know, taking control as a defender is still super, super important. But just thinking how it would feel for Dragon to be going in against a 1v1 to old mate Autumn, that's certainly terrifying. And with 18 points of HP, he manages to clutch it out, and it's a 12th round. So final round potentially here as we have the last little bit to go. 3 members still locking down this A site for Order as our drone goes out to see what it can find.
Well, it's hunting for a bit of a target, but who is it going to find? That is a stellar shot to come out from Lou. Little Ninum peek around the corner as well in the air. You love to see it, but what can the boys in order do to grab this one back? More blades out from Lou. He has one left. Vandal will be pulled on out. But the important thing here, Mitch, is the plant is going down. This is everything that Fun Crew needs to try and hold on.
Absolutely, and now with it all starting to wrap around, Flashes is in such a fantastic position, but he does get spotted. He is going to get a little bit awkward, but at least he's found the pinch. Now a 3 versus 3, looking to swing it around. Texter actually punished here by Easy, and Easy with a second, looking to find through. Now Autumn into a 1-on-2, has taken a lot of damage. We know he's sharp, but this time it isn't going to be so. It will be Side of Fun Crew closing out their 6th round here to at least keep the game alive.
Money in the back pocket, though. Order. They will be able to get another purchase into this new round. And for Fun Crew, whilst they do win the previous, they're kneeling down a little bit into this new one. You see that there's light shields across the board. Easy. I mean, he can drop a gun over and then they can get some more things. I was going to consider maybe, you know, if he does upgrade his shields. You already had Dragon, who was very capable of purchasing what he needed to, but he would be down a little bit of util. So they're juggling what they need to try to maximize their chances coming into this next round. It does look like we have a little bit of a pause to come on through at the moment, Mitch. That is why the timer has gone out here. It's on the Fun Crew side. It's a technical pause, not a tactical. So we're just going to sit pretty for a little bit. And when I say we, I mean the boys on the screen. And chill.
I'm trying to remember who has that similar sort of cam, Disco, just right on the top of the monitor there. Obviously, Autumn. Man, a fan favorite. But look, a handsome bunch across the board here for all of these players that have got the beautiful player cams in. It's crazy, you know, only missing Kyoto's, and look, obviously not everyone has a webcam, so it's all good. But yeah, no, it's just such an additional treat. Like, it's slotting in super nicely, adds the extra element, and I think it's a very, very important thing for us to see, you know, as the scene progresses, because we are playing from behind. We're the Oceanic region. We've always sort of, you know, been that team where we're kind of chilling out and, you know, having to really, really work solid to show ourselves off, I guess you could say. And, you know, this is a part of it, so we're catching up, and looks like we are potentially moving into get ready again, as it looks like the call has been made to get back onto that pause. So order has just been asked. Looks like they're ready to rock, so the game will be going live again. Thank you, Rosa, you handsome beast. And yeah, Fun Crew obviously still have the opportunity here, but they don't have the greatest buy, and obviously Order still have heaps of money packing as well. Should have another buy in the next round if they're unsuccessful.
Well, Easy can farm up the orb over into the shop. He does have the spike on his back, so he'll have to be careful with that. But that's a Hunter's Fury that'll be permitted into the next round. You can use that, you know, to deny the spike from getting diffused potentially if Fun Crew need. But it's a little bit of this mid exploration. And Autumn, he's so narrow focused. You can see the gun barrel out from Lou. Doesn't matter. Gets the shot in the end. And now the Texter finding Dragon. This is a beautiful start for Order, but for Fun Crew, that's rough.
Yeah, it's a double peak, you know, going on in, and at least Easy does get the tag, but Texas found another. Easy does manage to drop one with the Hunter's Fury, but now the Neural Theft comes on out. Flash is in a very awkward situation, trying to sort of twist and turn around, but he has got through that tube, and now Easy is going to be joining him. Spike is available, but look at Texas' position as well on, no, sorry, it's Tux, rather, on that flank, on the Viper. So how quickly will he move? Because it's a sneaky, beaky journey from Easy over the top. And if Weshes can wrap around and actually pick up some of these members here, it could be a forward-thinking round. But
surely the timing, though,
doesn't quite catch either.
The timing, Order, considering that the whole walkthrough can be happening, and now they know Disco taking a duel with Flesh. Just a bit of a ping out onto Easy as well. He cannot justify continuing on that fight. 30 seconds to go. They're locked in towards A. Autumn a little bit delayed on the peak. I think the flash might have got in, but Texter for the third. Now it's all down to Easy, and I think, Mitch, that this is the map done and dusted. Texter with the 4K in the end. It's 13-6 over to Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, Texter, everyone. He has done it again, going big on the Cypher, multiple multi-frags, and it's just business as usual for the man. I don't even see any emotion in him at all, and I don't blame him because he knows that, you know, he is on the best team in the region and one of the best players at that, and he's leading it across the charge. So there we have it. It will be a 13-6 victory on Breeze, going the way of Order in our opening night of VALORANT Oceania Tour 2022. It's been a treat so far, and right around the corner, obviously, we've got Icebox, Dion, so there's still some more action to come soon as well.
Yeah, it does look like the Storm might be playing a little bit of havoc with me signal to come on through on the stream. It's a little bit frozen for me. Hopefully, I don't know, I'm still good.
You're fine. We're all good. We'll get there. We'll make it. But as a storm is brewing, of course, we're going to let you guys go to a bit of a break, have a rest up, and in a couple of minutes, we'll be back and ready to close out this series on
what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. Got down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got down, up, back, back, got down, up, back, back, up, got down.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the VALORANT Oceanic Tour of 2022. It is the opening night. We've obviously had a couple of maps already sort of swing your way. We did have Mind Freak in the opening series, managed to take down Iconic in a 2-0. Fortunately, there was a forfeit, but that's okay. You know, things do happen. And now we've moved into this one, where of course it is going to be Fun Crew and Order. We've already seen them go toe-to-toe in the opening map, and whilst Fun Crew did have some really exciting moments, it was just, you know, the old Texter Lurk on the Cypher that was just way too damaging. And now as we move and poise up for Icebox, Komodo, I actually, you know, think this one might be a pretty done and dusted sort of series, but that's just me. Oh, Dion, you there? Ah, he's lagging. That's okay. We'll continue on. So to give you guys some context, whenever it rains in Melbourne, Dion's internet's kind of buggered, but that's okay. So yeah, to basically summarize where we're kind of dealing with right now is moving on into Icebox. I think that's a really exciting thing. You know, they're a super, super sharp roster that obviously play along with that one. And yeah, like, you know, seeing all the exciting duelists come out, and obviously, you know, Disco likely going to be bringing out that Killjoy. I don't know if anything's actually sort of changed. We got you back?
Yeah, it does seem like the Storm is playing Havoc, where one of my PCs just completely decided to go kaput. So,
classic.
On the other PC, I quickly jumped over and it looks like it's okay, but everything's kind of laggy. So I apologize if you can see me in 1 FPS. Hopefully this fixes itself, but I'm on the thing that is the right one. And I mean, yeah, I don't know a word that you said. I apologize. Blame Melbourne weather, I guess.
That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. We already sold you. You've been on camera the whole time and you didn't pick your nose, so it's all good. We're ready to rock and roll. But yeah, man, look, I guess, you know, you want to give you some thoughts on Icebox and how that's going to be diving on in?
I said that this was the map that I was looking forward to. I still stand by that statement. I think that we saw a lot from both sides over on that map there in Breeze, but when it comes over to this one, I mean, we've seen some beautiful plays on this map before, and I think that, you know, we go from such a wide, vast open space like Breeze into a more tightly cornered map that is Icebox, still with some nice areas, and it's just going to lead into some really cool things. Now, I have to throw it back. Dragon, Marshall, Icebox, it's deadly.
It is, very much so. But I guess that could be the exact same said for Autumn, right? The amount of things we've seen from all these players. Dragon is probably the most exciting prospect, though, for me, as I mentioned. You know, keeping my eye on Lou as well. But Kyoto stepping up in droves in the previous map, too. But regardless, as you mentioned, I used to think that Icebox was a COD map. I hated it, but now I love it. It's actually really, really good. And it's because it definitely does force each other into the sort of play, right? You have to get that mid control on defense. Otherwise, you can kind of open up your entire map for those flanks to come in from CT and straight through mid. So it's a really, really cool one. I've very much enjoyed getting around it and seeing all the agents come in. And look how quick that's actually come through. And to tell you, Dion, I was saying that it was going to be Disco and the Killjoy. He's actually pulled out the Reyna, and I'm absolutely okay with that. Texter back onto the Sage. So he's going to be walling up mid and doing the thing. But yeah, it's a mirror matchup once more, exactly as we see it. But it's an exciting mirror matchup for that.
Yep, no, 100%. It does lead into some consistency factors and some expected factors that, you know, will be flowing on through this. Hopefully, we do just see brilliance come through. Again, you know, we saw all that team cohesion from Order, specifically on the previous map. We saw a little bit of that individual sheriffing as well to come through from Lou. So I just really want that to all carry over in toward this map. And, I mean, do I want Bind in this series? Look, probably. It would make Order look a little bit more mortal, which if we're thinking about APAC prospects, we probably don't want if we want our best team firing up completely throughout the circuit. But, I mean, hey, I'll still welcome it in.
For sure. It's that aggression. Now towards B. Now down towards long. Darts are already going out. Lou has been tagged up, but does cop the heal nice and early. So he'll be journeying his way up towards full HP from the Sage. And Texter has done the exact same thing as well. So that Poison Cloud's going to be able to give them some extra space. The wall down to kind of isolate. And Texter straight into the tube towards Kitchen. He's going to pick up Lou. So that's some early damage already secured. And he's straight on out there. So it looks like we're going to be seeing the same Texter on the Cypher that we saw on Breeze. And the Lurk now coming through from Autumn. Fleshist gonna take matters into his own hands here. Is easy. Does spot out one, but Disco finds Fleshes as well. It's a 5-on-2 already.
Yeah, it's looking pretty darn good for Order into this round. Even a duel through the Poison Cloud right now. You don't technically need to do so, but Disco's looking to get a little bit frisky with it. Autumn pushing up in toward the Kitchen as well. And the Spike is eventually just making its way into the B site. Order still being very cautious. They don't know exactly where the members of Fun Crew are. So just trying to, 100% this round, really.
100% full combo, no misses. Exactly what you need. Kyoto looking to deny that, and he will. So unfortunately, they're going to have to run the track again if they want that flawless, but still, good damage has been dealt. Actually, Kyoto's found a couple here. It's going to be still a tough round to actually find, but Kyoto with 3, certainly making it start to look a little bit more doable, but a very nice double up on the stack up. Maple and Autumn from the side of the Kitchen, and they will get the job done. Very, very nicely found in the end. But yeah, Kyoto at least keeping them honest.
That's what you want to see. A little bit of extra damage in the end can go a long way. You just don't want to see them really over-purchase at the moment, because times in the previous map, we saw them just back onto all the pistols time and time again. It's not what you want to see for the interest of a full, drawn-out game of Valorant, not Counter-Strike. So the Sheriffs are going to be brought back into Water for Dragon and Lou, but those upgrades over on the flip side for Order. The Marshal out from Autumn, the Spectres, Texter onto the Vandal this time. We saw a little bit of hungriness, I'll say, from Tux over on Breeze with those early adoptions onto all the rifles. But right now, Mitch, the group up on the A site from everybody that's still alive from Fun Crew. Slowly dismantled.
You're finding Marshal frags left, right, and center. Texter, will he be spotted out by Kyoto? Yes, he will, but he should be able to tap away nicely. One of the biggest things, because I do it all the time, is just learning how to slow down the shots. Quite often, you'll see so many people kind of see someone start to panic, start to spray around, and yeah, it is certainly a challenge to see, but Order have got it all down packed. They're taking their shots nice and slow, readjusting their aim, not relying on the RNG spray, and nice easy round there. Obviously found. It was just an eco. Nothing really to talk home about. But now, as we move on into that bonus, what are we seeing from an investment standpoint? Texter actually manages to afford himself the Vandal, of course. Autumn still with the Marshal. But everyone almost up towards that 3K mark. Jesus, this is a very, very good start. But Lou, he's going to go hunting very, very early. The recon bolt goes to the other side. Wasn't quite ready for it. But it is going to be a stalemate very early for the start.
Yeah, just a spot outs. See what you can gather nice and early on. And apparently for Fun Crew, it's going to be Lou getting a pick on towards Autumn. So you definitely do want to try and maximize your potential on the remainder of this round. A gun barrel spot out there. So Kyoto's got his rifle now activated, but Disco's crept up a little bit too far forward. Kyoto not expecting that one, and now there's no coverage around the B site. You're going to have that lean start to be brought over from Easy and from Fleshist there. Sorry, I had to look at the radar to figure out who was who. But, hey, Order, they're trying to get the plant now.
Yeah, it is a bit of a challenging site to find quite sometimes, but of course they do have that Sage. She's a little bit away, but it's actually already Disco to pick up 3. He is definitely feeling it so far on this duelist. How nice is it to see? Very, very cool to see him back in that form. This Disco was one of those explosive players. We used to see him quite regularly on the Rays. And over time, he's been able to adapt into many a different role. Same with Texter. Dragon does have the rotation, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late. And with Disco hungry for the ace, he does actually manage to find a 4th here. So Lou is in a 1 versus 4. And as the wall goes down, he's going to have to run away. As he does use the tailwind to get the hell out of there. But now his shield has been taken away. Maple to spot him. Still in the ace away, but that's absolutely fine. Business as usual here for Order, as they've picked up a 3rd round.
Yep, third on the board. That's the quota bonus being won again over on the side of Order. So looking good on the start of this attacker's side. Mitigating damage as well, not leaving too many frags to be collected upon over on the side of Fun Crew is always going to be able to stretch out how much you can get. money toward Max. You know, you keep punishing over towards Fun Crew, they're not going to be able to build up any money of their own. It's really only those deaths, you know, accumulating up on your ultimate department. Again, not something that you can rely upon too often. Switch up though, as it's a little bit of haste into the B main area, and a dink already delivered on through. Nice info from the darts. Oh, the shots unconnecting so far.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit chaotic here as we do see Maple find some damage. That's going to be 2. So unfortunately there, you know, when you've got such a mishmash of Sheriffs versus the Vandals, it does get a little challenging. And Fleshus has actually not quite spotted out Disco there as Maple continues to walk the side. But Disco finds him. Easy tag. And that should be damage found by Texter. It will be. And it just looks like right now, Order are just absolutely everywhere on the map. It's been very hard for them to really find anything. We've seen some good shots, some damage, but they haven't quite yet had the opportunity to really fire up as of yet. You know, it's only been those first couple of rounds, now into the 4th. And the next round will be their second, like, really formal buy. And even in that 3rd round, when they got their first buy, it wasn't full exactly. So we're going to have to give it some time as Kyoto does find a really, really nice shot. But Members moving into Kitchen now. Is one just underneath for Kyoto. Can he find any more? One more. Keep them coming. Line them up.
He's got his... He's at his ult for a little bit as well, so just damage at the end of that point. Mitchell, this is the round, though, that we need to see something come through from Fun Crew. It's about this point in time as well on Breeze that we did start to see them start to build up something on their side. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see a little bit of the reenactment, but this is the time. We're going to have that operator out from Lou, so some reliance upon that potentially. It's going to be positioned over at the B site at the moment, so looking for the potential aggressive line of sight, but unfortunately for him, with our little cheeky armchair position, you know, we know that Order aren't there. They're all grouped up around this A site.
Look at the momentum, just straight up. They're going to be looking for Belt early. And with no members, it doesn't look like pushing over. We already do get Kyoto spotted out here, and that Hunter's Fury. Oh no! He might be able to live on, which means the Viper's Pit will remain. But now Dragon puts himself into a position to find a couple, but Kyoto's taken down. Easy also does find one, but traded. And again, it's Order very, very early, and it's a 3-2.
Yeah, you could just see that Kyoto was bullied out and couldn't put his ult on top of 410, so you just see the haste that Order came out with, but now it does look like Fun Crew have something to say. 2 versus 2 coming into it as Order does elevate himself up on top, but a little bit of a drop down onto that default box. Looking to be very careful on how they do play this one out. I think that operator is still in the hands as well of Lou, so it's not the gun that you want to be trying to retake out with. You know, Autumn is going to look to capitalize upon it, but reading into it, Lou, he's going to get the quick scope on out. Now the defuse starts to come out from behind the barrier wall as well. Shots on through. It is half defuse. Keep an eye on that. But with 5 HP, Lou gets taken down through the box, and it is Order holding on.
And they want the operator too. They've made the call for it. That's going to go to the happy hands of Autumn, I assume. But yeah, it's still just clean business coming through from Order. They haven't really changed much. You know, there's been a few of those close rounds. Really good damage found by a couple of these players. But, you know, Dragon, Easy, Flesh just really haven't had a chance to activate yet. And, you know, we're starting to really have the map get away from them slightly. So we're hoping that we will see some more things come through shortly. But in the time being, I just want to say a massive shout out to obviously everyone who is watching along tonight. It's awesome to see so many viewers across the Riot Games OCE channel and also LPL_Valorant. It's beautiful. You know, me and Komodo super happy to be here. I know I'm speaking for you, Dion, but it's just such a treat. After 4 to 5 months without casting Valorant, we're finally back into the business. We've got a good and exciting year ahead. We've got money coming back into the scene. And, you know, as I said, with those borders opening up and people allowed to freely travel once more, hopefully we'll start to see more events on LAN and can really start to boogie with it.
And don't worry, you can always speak to me, for me rather. Our wavelengths is pretty much always on track anyway.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, but for starters, Maple has been taken out, resurrected by the old mate in Texter, so it's good to see that that's rapidly here, but that's some impact already being felt out by Fun Crew in this round. Now it's answered back by Disco finding Flesh. Just more info on the back of that drone, and Order don't necessarily need to continue with this. That player advantage is there, and they look to apply the brakes a little bit.
Flick up, not quite. Autumn does narrowly miss the shot, but as Lou dives on, he's only got 3 blades left from that storm as Texter makes his way through, but there's the reset, and as he does manage to get just outside of that recon bolt, he does actually get taken down in the end by Tuck, so it walks back down to a 3-on-4.
but it will go back into a 3-on-3, but quickly traded again. Looking to do some more damage. Kyoto, he's been looking good with his Sheriff right now. Dragon looking to try and find his position. Will he clear out this side? Will he find the shot? Yes, he will, but it's on the Maple. We've already seen him find a 1 versus 2 clutch, and there's the damage found. He's got no shield on him, Dion, but Dragon has to find so much. It's planted exactly for Maple where he needs it to be. It's even deep, and look at this too.
Yeah.
Should be able to get the Leers out, maybe tapping it down to half, but now he starts to clear. Maple looking to spot.
He's not even ready. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do anything really. There's the bolt. Time. Looking to stick in. No, Maple's just easy game, really.
Oh
there you
my.
go. That's how you play Sober, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the perfect resurrection to come out in Texter's mind there. He gets that res after Maple loses his life. Maple's the one to clutch it in the end. You're going to be very happy with how that one has turned out for the side of Order. And you know that FunCrew are not, as they are going to deploy their pause. 6-0 currently is the scoreboard. And whilst we are going to be permitted in another purchase to come through from FunCrew, you know, this is the time for them to really bring everything in order. What do they need to do to get back into this game against Order? No pun intended.
Yep, no, exactly right. That's just constant questioning of what they've got to do and how they've got to try and work it out. So they're going to be using that timeout to do exactly that, having a little bit of a conversation. But we could just see Smiles. Look at Texter already just rounding his troops. The Smiles are there and they're absolutely stoked about it. Why wouldn't you be? You know, you've got a 6-0 start here. It's been super, super nice as how everything has gone so far. But yeah, look, you know, there's been these close rounds again, like checking up on the scoreboard. Thank you, Crashman, for bringing that one up for us. Like, Kyoto's done some damage, and we've seen some moments, but just again, it's that experience, that real moment where you watch Order slow down the rounds. And yeah, as a result, you know, it just puts the position where we see the side of FunCrew kind of second-guessing themselves.
Well, on the back of that pause coming out, does mean that we get to see what's going on in the server itself. I'm seeing Fweshist is 1 away from that resurrection, so something that you could definitely utilize. We're already seeing that Autumn has those blades. Tux has that pit for a post plant, and we've got a bit of a switch up. It's some aggression out in through towards mid from Autumn to the top tube, and the rest of the squadron are looking to go through towards B main.
All right. Early information will be spotted as Autumn, straight over the tube, does manage to find one immediately. Now as the snakebite goes down, looks like Tux is pretty happy to throw on in the Viper's Pit, but Easy also going to send it back with the Hunter's Fury. However, it is going to be the old Juke and Dance Dragon walking straight in, bringing it back into a 4-on-4 as the spike goes down.
Yeah, now comes in toward the post plant, that drone to try and sniff out what's lurking about in this Viper's Pit, but you know, it's 4 versus 4. Wriggle has to be going forward
Dragon.
for FunCrew. Dragon takes out Tux. That's the pit down. That's wide eyes for everybody. And a flank from Lou is setting things up nicely for FunCrew. Disco gets revealed. A little bit of a swivel to try and see what he can do. But now it's on a Maple. Pulls out Util at the wrong time, unfortunately. And finally, on the back of that pause, nonetheless, FunCrew get their first round on the board.
Managed to get it done. Finally, we see some more life. And I guess, as you mentioned, right, it took a little while before on Breeze we started to see some action come on through. You know, it can be very challenging to try and overwhelm a team like Order. And ultimately, we do finally see them move forward with that opening round. But money is definitely there for the side of Order. Even a better buy for the most part. Lose obviously had to drop down to that half shield, but that's A-okay. All I want to see is you know, some action. That's all, right? We expect Order to win this one. There is really no doubt about it. We know how good they are at this game and how, you know, if this was like a close game where Order were getting threatened, that'd be more of a tale about Order than, you know, what we're sort of expecting from FunCrew. But yeah, he's playing with fire there early. Autumn over the top. He's going to be able to find one. Second, not quite. The right click does miss, but they're overlooking Dragon here. Overlooking Dragon. 1 and 2, but quickly traded. Texter and Disco make it happen. And now it's going to be a long haul rotate to come in from Easy and Kyoto.
And we've seen these two in retake scenarios before together. Let's see if they can get it done. Easy good for 1 onto Disco as the plant goes through. Texter narrowly dodging out on the shock dart, but it is planted over towards default, which does mean that the defuse is not going to be too easy for the FunCrew squad. Texter finds out exactly where Kyoto is, looks to take the challenge in through toward the maze. No heals, remember, as Easy finds Texter. It's a great dart to come on through. Kyoto low, but he takes out Maple's face. That's another one for FunCrew.
There you go. Exactly what we wanted to see. I was going, Jesus, Maple's won a couple of 1vx's tonight, but that's a round that's very nicely found. Easy with those retake frags, the 2K, and then Kyoto ripping the head off of Maple.
finally some life, Dion. An action station. But of course, they are on that defensive side, and already the pressure being applied for Order means that, you know, their backs are up against the wall a little bit, so they need to keep on kicking. But I guess the you know, saving grace potentially is the fact that if they do win this round, there's an economic reset in the cards for Order.
Just taking a moment. Settle down. See what's going to be happening in the beginning of this round. It does look like Autumn's expecting that aggression now. You know, they saw that Lou was potentially going for it a little bit in the last round, but just being patient, adapting very rapidly. So we do have a more lean to the B site in this round for Fun Crew. It means A is a bit weaker. You're going to have the hold from Fleshiston now easy over at the site.
As we look up at the sky, the beautiful night. Crash is wanting to show us the stars as they are moving on in. Easy is in position once more. He does have Fleshes below him. As they do fake that plan, it's the one-way Cloudburst and Texter very much hunting for this. We'll look to get the wall down, but as we mentioned, there's still 2 more members here. Fleshes does get tagged out, all very low. He's got the res too, so he really, really wants to try and live on if he potentially can. Texter will destroy the Aldrome, but he is spotted out by that recon bolt. Of course, now Dragon trying to make his way in, and Tux rather, his position is just so good. However, Easy in the process finds 1, make it 2, will be traded, but Maple, oh, Maple, he's making it work as Tux also equalizes, and Lou 1 on 3. I mean, he's got a potential chance in doing it, but time is ticking. He wants to get the hell out of there, take that operator into the next round, but they're going to be hunting for him, Dion. Maple looking to clear the side, shoulder stepping almost with the damage, but Lou lives on. Will he be able to hide in the kitchen? Yes, he will, and hopefully he makes me some tacos on the way out as well.
Oh, tacos are so good right now.
Emily's making them, so I'm very keen for afterwards.
That's probably fake meat.
Yeah, but look, it's okay. I've got to admit, man, like, some of it's absolute pure garbage, but others have been acceptable.
All right, so I do just want to say here that that was not Crash's fault that we looked into the sky. Some people might throw some things at him. That's actually a bit of a bug in the client at the moment. If you try to follow util, it doesn't work. It throws you onto a random, like, camera spot in the sky. Crash was trying to show us a very sneaky double shock dart. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see it.
That's okay. I'm happy to look into the stars.
New observer bug. There you go.
Hey, Valorant still coming away. It's only in its infancy, still plenty more years ahead of this exciting game. And as we're sort of speaking about, you know, the introduction of Neon, obviously Fracture as well, it changes everything. It's easy. He's going to get his head ripped off by Disco there. Just a pixel perfect shot. But still lots more ground that needs to be covered. Still pushing through mid. Kitchen is occupied, but Flash is looking to actually rotate around. He's rezzed up Easy. I think he's low enough that he is okay, but he does manage to rotate over now. So it's back to a 5-on-5. Still a winnable prospect for both these sides.
Yeah, but look at the space that I've already found up through toward the tube, and Flash is all the timing. It's looking real awkward on the spray from Disco, but Texter is at least there to assist. Now Autumn finding Easy. Look at the movement. Look at the movement, mate. Yeah, and as you say, another res to come on through, but now it's Dragon's time. That's info on towards Maple. You know, there's a bit of a fallback. It starts to get some comms over towards Kyoto that it might be coming over towards A, but you look at the flank that potentially can come out on the back of it as well. Dragon's going to be met up by Lou, who's running, storming down B main, but the shot's not out. Oh, no. Bugger.
It's a blunder. And it's Autumn as well, dancing, juking, seeing if he can fight with Lou. Man, Dragon, I'm feeling in for him there, but that's where the pressure starts to come in, right? You know, the trigger discipline can be such a challenge, and Kyoto, 1 versus 5. He's been heard as his little moon comes on through. 5 alive, 8 rounds for Order, and these guys are just looking unbeatable right now.
Yeah, they're looking strong, and I guess you would kind of expect that from OCE's #1 seed, #1 team sticking together for Yonks. Absolutely do love it to see it. Do wonder if we're going to see any dethroning, like, you know, quoted air quotes dethroning on towards Order in the stages, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. Still,
do you remember
many a team?
Was it like series #2, no, stage #2 rather, where we saw Wildcard take them down 3-0 in the finals? That was crazy. 12-0 half on split. Order's best map at the time. Incredible.
Yeah, 0-3 grand final, stage 2 finals. And before that, they also lost in the upper bracket to the same wildcard.
Exactly.
1-2. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't just like a lucky draw. It was no wildcard actually getting it done both times. So it was impeccable. So they are mortal at times, but it just shows, you know, we've got 5 of the most individually talented players in the region as he just rips Lou's head off in a very succinct and, you know, experienced roster where they all know their roles, they all know their positions.
Ooh, Kyoto. That would have been a beautiful shot on towards Maple. 145 and 1 though from the distance of the Sheriff there. Doesn't quite get the job done completely. But the prospect of this round is not taken away from Funku just yet. 3 versus 4, the lesser weaponry. They'll need to start to hit their shots. It's technically only 3 versus 3 around the site because you do have that little lurk available coming out from Autumn. And now here starts to come that retake. Dink out on towards Dragon already, making things a little bit more difficult. And while the pings does come through from that dart, Easy manages to find Maple from, I don't even know where, on top of the rope it must have been, but it still does look like Order have control of this round as Disco will close it. In the end, there you go. It is a 9th, Mitchell. That's what we'll take away from that round.
Yeah, a little bit chaotic, but it's okay. You know, these rounds sometimes get scrappy as they do move towards the end. But once again, it's cool, calm, and collected in camp order. Texas keeping the boys in check, but you know, we've seen some good things. Like, that's the main thing, right? You know, even what we can collect out of some of these games. I did say it as we moved on in, like a new roster, obviously plenty of changes, and it's just such a thing that they've got to overcome and overwhelm, right? Like, hopefully the practice is looking good for Fun Crew, because some of the rounds that they've been able to put up shows good signs, but you know, it's just so much of a challenge to come in to an individually talented roster like Order, as well as them also being, you know, such a scary thing to experience as a 5. There we go, opening pick from Maple. Autumn watching towards mid again. Dragon doesn't want to tempt fate just yet.
Yeah, that's one of the causes when you bring out your Hunter's Fury. Your opponent knows exactly where you are and can lay their Hunter's Fury on towards you. And now Order, they're waiting patiently. They're not even taking the fight over towards Fun Crew at the moment, but they are winning out these fights. And there you do have it. Lou walking down B main, gets decapitated. Now it's just down to Kyoto, sniffed out from the pit. Has a flawless round to come through for the closer of the half from Order.
Absolutely, 10-2 is a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. But unfortunately, Dion, it might mean that we only get 3 maps tonight, and 3 relatively quick ones too. But that's absolutely fine. It's been a treat to warm back up into this. As I've said, you know, seeing the support in the chat and everyone's so happy to watch along. And, you know, even new people have been tagged in Instagram stories of, you know, viewers that I haven't heard of before, which is so sick to see. Like, I absolutely love being a part of it. And, you know,
welcome to them.
That, yeah, absolutely. You know, whether it's their first time watching or, you know, a viewer that's been around for a little bit and just finally getting back in, that's what we're looking for. But over time, you know, obviously they're going to hear more from us, but tomorrow it's going to be Tony and Matsy running it back, and I cannot wait to hear those guys back on the mic again.
Certainly so, but for right now, you're all stuck with us, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, if you do like that. It's 10-2. Order dismantling against Fun Crew on this first half. But let's see if it does flip on over as Fun Crew go to the attacker side, which is something I haven't even touched upon just yet. Usually defense side on Icebox, but it's just Order things.
Oh, confident attacking side, you know, can do so much, and they've just had their backs up against the wall. As we said, we've seen moments that now Dragon really trying to force them away, and they do manage to get it done. Maple, however, is here, and it's a very quick rotation. Easy gets spotted out. Now it's all on the Maple in this 1 versus 4. I'm not going to call it now because anything can happen with this man still alive. He's got his recon bolt. Godo's come up nice and high into the pipe, but already destroying that one.
Easy, no.
Easy. And it's going to be enough to keep him distracted to make sure that there's a 4 alive secured round to come through for Fun Crew. That is a very good start. And there we go, just to confirm as well. Wait, is that really? Wow. That's an early day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what's that? 11:30 my time, 1:30 Eastern time, 3:30 New Zealand time. Yeah, there you go.
We'll confirm that at the end of the broadcast. But as I'll let you do a breakdown of this round, I'll look it up.
Yeah, Disco always trolling though. Don't trust that man. 5:30 New Zealand time. There we go.
Yeah, I thought it was 3:30.
Confirmed. This guy, right? This guy. So now 5:30. Beautiful. Disco also very handsome, by the way. Our man on the button.
Yeah, 3:30 my time.
Yep.
Melbourne
beautiful.
time.
1:30 Perth time for all you Singaporean server players.
All right, let's get into this one, shall we?
Should.
Guns are here for Fun Crew. A couple of Bulldogs. I really do fancy that. Garner Marshall and a Sheriff, but it's Disco pushing up with the free gun in the Classic to see what he can do.
Nice opener from Fleshist. And a second. So
does manage to at least convert a couple here. Maple spotted out. No scope from Lou. Marshall always able to do some good work, and they have actually managed to pull the information away from A enough, and Autumn actually finding one there as well, so good damage. However, they've still got plenty to take through. They've still got those 2 Bulldogs. Marshall picked up for Dragon. Not a horrible looking bonus as Lou does invest into the Vandal once more. We know he's going to pick up those blades. So there we have it. Okay, 4 Vandals and a Phantom for Maple. So if Fun Crew don't win this, they've still got another chance, but at least we've extended out the game a little longer with a relatively clean pistol and second round.
But now the problem is you're going up against some very strong players at the best of times, at the mediocre of times. You know, they're still very, 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 very damn good. And now they've got the big old weapons, the big guns in the server. So let's see what they can do with the Vandals. And I believe a Phantom is going from Maple, but it is the Sheriff from Dragon. Does get taken out in the end, but that's a little bit of damage already here.
A little bit too quick on the dismiss there, but that's okay. He still does manage to find 1 with the Sheriff, so back to that equalizer 4-on-4. And with that forward thinking from Order, it means they can rotate very, very quickly over. And look at this, they're already through A. They're going to be straight up the bums already in the behind, in the flank. Oh, he's all right. A little bit of a tap away, not able to find anything just yet. That Cloudburst going down, they will be afforded with the plan. However, it is going to be a 4 versus 4 retake here. Disco gets 3 out, 1. Gonna make 2, and he will. That's a 3K for Disco. He's on for the AC of Dion.
Now, the Resurrection is available for Fun Crew. I don't think they're going to be able to get it out because of the deepness of the players dying in toward, what is that, Snowman. But Flesh just finds Maple. Now Disco needs that ace Mitch to come on through. Knows where Lewis should have an idea of where Flesh is. Holding a tight line. There it goes. He could even go for a little bit of the stick right now. Lou reveals himself and he knows he can get it at least to half on the challenge, but it's the full fake out. And Lou will get the wallbang headshot through the ice. And that is stone cold to come through for the 5th round on the board for Fun Crew.
Man, that's a denial of the bonus too. So they managed to actually get that through. Very, very nicely done from Fun Crew. There's some movement behind them right now, Dion. That's going to be another eco to come out for Order, and we're actually starting to close the gap here. What is this, attacker-sided game?
Ah, apparently so right now. Momentum. Guts. Wanting glory. Consistency. Confidence. The big word. Probably one of your favorite words at this point in time.
Oh, mate, you got to have it. If confidence isn't a thing in Valorant, you may as well bugger off, really. That's why I suck at it so much.
But what about the support players?
No, support players got to have confidence still. Got to be confident to make sure your teammates live on. It's just that game where Valorant, you hesitate, you're going to get slapped around by some, you know, default dancing Fortnite player. That's, it's just going to happen every time. But there's no default dancing here, as it is a back onto a 4-on-4.
Yeah, maybe utilize that res. Flushes is certainly going to do so. Shock does a little bit late, unfortunately, here. As you can hear them bounce. Oh! 15 points of damage. Yeah, maybe does something later, but probably not.
So, how are we looking? Rotation. Very, very far away. Maybe they've got a bit of a read here that they don't quite have because it's been a completely stopped play on the side of Fun Crew. They're just waiting ever so patiently to see if anything will come their way. But I think they're going to be looking to pick up a 6th round here, Dion.
Yeah. I mean, you would expect so, with it being the lesser equipped weaponry over on the side of Order. A little bit of the impact, as that Resurrection did have to come on out. And Autumn, he's going to be leading the leading the charge, rather, as he is the closest one on this A site. This might get a little bit chaotic if you're expecting Order to group up and go for this retake together. Get a little bit of damage is the name of the game right now. So let's see how this one pans out.
Alrighty. Utility starts to fly out. Obviously, they've left it to the time where all members are going to be coming through, and Autumn able to equalize. You know he's good with that Marshall, and now the wall actually does go down. Tex is going to get onto that, but he will be denied. Very nicely done from Kyoto. Dragon, easy. Everyone getting it done. Autumn, though, bloody some damage. 3 big, big frags, and, you know, he has that reset potential always with the blades, but they are going to be able to hold on. So this is Fun Crew showing that they mean business. It was a 13-6 on Breeze. But Breeze, look, you know, if you can manage to take more than 6 rounds away from Order on Breeze, like, you're doing something right. Like, I've yet to see really any, like, scary dominant teams on Breeze as of yet outside Order. Lots of teams still scared to pick into it, which I understand. I suck at it too. But it's, yeah, we're going to see more of that, more of Fracture. Icebox, obviously, a mainstay.
Really starting to move away from Ascent Bind and what am I thinking here, Dion?
Haven.
Haven, that's the one. I hate Haven. I'm bad at that. Everyone pushed too fast. Too many sites.
I think I'm keen for Fracture because we get to see the Chad and Breach be deployed pretty consistently.
Chad Breach gamers.
Alrighty, let's see. Easy's shoulder peeking out. That's the spike as well. So that's some huge information for Order. Autumn is going to go for another aggressive little pick. But Lou with the spike, the rest of his team not even near him. Could get a little bit dire if he does lose his life here. Taking a bit of a challenge. And he will choose to fall on back. Now, that orb in B main is still available. Maybe we see someone be able to gather that on the Fun Crew side, but they overlook where Disco is. 1, 2, can't get a third. Still a little bit vulnerable on the side for both here, as 2 versus 3 can still be brought into winnable for Fun Crew and Mitch. You know what I'm saying right now? We're seeing post plant.
We are indeed. It's going to be a big one for them to hold down, but Order has still been very, very patient here as Dragon... Unfortunately, mate, that's biting off a little bit more than you can chew, and also doing the same is Lou, but he is going to be able to live on for now. Straight back up into the pipe. Does get on to the old tightrope as well.
Yeah, this wall helps him.
Yeah, it does.
That toxic screen certainly does because it isolates him in the fight. It means that Texter has to be here and consist with the fight, but it's not going to be able to happening. Oh, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Not too happening.
Not too happening. Not very... not good. Very, yes. English.
How you feeling, Dion? I'm feeling yes. I'm feeling thank you.
So, what are the struggles that we've had today? Blastfully hot day turned into a massive storm with the internet going out.
Oh, dude, as I said, like, I felt so cold earlier today. Like, I've already got bad circulation in my hands, so I was freezing in the office. And then I came home, obviously, half day today, doing the old rehearsal, warming up for VOT. And I literally just had to lay down in the 35-degree sun on the floor outside to try and heat my body up. But very, very glad I did manage to get into this because, yeah, as I said, it's been such a treat. And I'm glad that, you know, we've all been able to dive in once more. But look, it's obviously Order breaking that drought. A couple of rounds that really did go in favor, of course, of the side of Fun Crew, 4 consecutive. And with that 11th round, you know, they edge their way closer to victory. But obviously on that defending side, they need to make sure that they can still keep consistent. Maple should get a whole lot of information here. And then the fight begins on A. Look at Disco,
this util is starting to bully them out, and I was about to mention that too. The flank to come through from Disco, good for 1, some extra damage, looks to escape, but again, that Devour is not going to do too much. Or rather, it's the Dismiss. Maybe one of the Devour, but from the grave you cannot. And now it does look like we might have a bit of a settling down. 4 versus 4 as the minute markers hit on that clock. It does give a little bit more time for Texter to get that heal again. Give it over towards Autumn potentially, but with the Operator, his job now is probably one and done. But we will wait and see. And Fun Crew have just halted the process at the moment.
Alrighty. Viper's Pit down. How's the rest of the round going to look? 40 seconds. Basically does instill fear into the face of Fun Crew, and with Maple watching towards... No, it's Autumn rather. Sorry, I saw Maple ping something, but Autumn watching mid. Clear, not quite good enough. And there's one. He does just choose to fall away. Happy dropping that spike down. Doesn't need to go in for the frag. And as he rotates back to B... Is he going to pick up this line? Yeah, he does indeed. But Lou, obviously up very high, hearing the footsteps. Are they going to swing around yellow? There's one more up on top. He's not going to be able to quite find it, but 11 seconds. Cloudburst goes down, and they will be able to find the spike. But this is going to be a tough post by here, Dion.
I was going to say, will we cower right now? And we will indeed. Dragon bringing out the Empress, wants to keep that crown on his head. And the defuse is what Order are targeting. Reveal out from that bolt as well as they start to get on toward it. You know, it's just the duelists that have to take the fight. No util coming their way. Tucks for 1. Now Dragon for the challenge. Gets the dink. Gets the Devoured Dismiss. It's both of them. It's the Empress, but the crown is taken off. And the defuse is here. Order find 12.
Little bit of a panic there. Potentially could have fell away further, but, you know, in the moment, especially when you've got 2 hungry members of Order looking to dive at you, it can always be a challenge. So it is going to be match point, evening point, series point, whatever you want to call it. It is the group stages, of course, of stage number 1 of the VALORANT Oceanic Tour 2022. This year,
we get to boogie down in APAC. Some Asian teams will be meeting us with the Oceanic players, which is very exciting to see. Obviously, you know, hard tip on the favorite being Order, but then you wonder, then you start to ask Dion, who is going to take that second slot? We already saw some great things from Mindfreak. It was awesome to see Ronski back in the server, and obviously that was the core three that did manage to qualify for last year's LCQ. So, you know, whether that's going to continue a trend or if the changes aren't going to benefit them, we'll have to find out over time. But now it's going to be Disco to get that opener, and he'll dismiss straight out of there.
Well, we are going to have to wait and see what impact happens over at this B site, with currently a little bit more of a deployment to come through from the side of Order. But for Fun Crew, I mean, already losing one player very early in the approach, and you don't have that resurrection available. Probably not at all in this round, as there's 4 ult points away for Fweshis. Even if he gets both orbs and a plant, they'll still need 1 kill at least. So it is just very difficult to bring him back. Bit of a ping, gives some information here. An Order, yeah, just sitting pretty. They don't need to really budge at the moment.
Yep, they can just relax, knowing that the victory is in their position. Disco getting very, very hungry, but you know, doesn't want to push all the way through that pipe. Gonna just wait very, very patiently. 30 seconds left on the clock almost. They're gonna start to push their way towards mid. And information gathered. Oh, he just missed in there. In the end, we do see a jump down, and you know, Dion, sometimes you blink and the map is over, and that's exactly what's happened right now. It's going to be a back-to-back-to-back 13-6 scoreline across the board for all of these teams that have played tonight. Again, first of all, we saw Mindfreak 13-6 iconic on Bind. Obviously, it was a default map. I don't actually remember the map off the top of my head now that we did miss out on, but that's okay. It was a 2-0 in favor of Mindfreak, and now we've seen a 2-0 going the way of Order.
Yeah, I think it was Ascent coming out in that first one as well, because we had the middle of the map floor, and this one
Yeah,
a little bit more stretched out. I would kind of even consider, you know, Fracture and Split being the ones that are the most stretched out now, because we do see Icebox, we do see Breeze. You know, Order, you know, they're very capable on Split as well. So I really want to see what they've got for us if it does come over towards Fracture. Likewise of a lot of these other teams. You know, if you're cracking it, don't be afraid to kind of get it out. I always am going to understand that if you don't, because you haven't tested it out in an official capacity, you know, I guess don't, because there's a lot on the line. There's a lot of money. There's APAC qualifiers. There's, you know, international spots on the line. So do what you do best and get in toward there. But Mitch, the teams that have done what they do best today were Order, and of course in the first series, as well as the team name escapes me, Mindfreak. There we go.
That's the one.
They got it over the board.
Yeah, no, very much so. And look, you know, duking it out, 25 grand a position, you know, 9 grand in the opening stage, like for first place. I think that's absolutely incredible. Obviously, the 8 teams in stage 1, they're going to be walking away with prize money regardless. But look, we've got Texter on the line. And Matt, look, mate, I'm going to bring you in nice and quickly. I know this is just absolutely business as usual for you guys. So I'll say a quick g'day. And also, how has the year looked for you guys so far? Oh, muted Fraser, got him? Oh, muted, Matt.
Does look like Matt's muted.
Yeah, nah, he'll find it. He'll find it. No, we'll get him in a sec. It's all right. No, we'll call it. Matt, look, I know whatever you said was great. We love to have you on. But look, at the end of the day, it was only going to be just a very, very quick one, I'm sure, on the side of those guys. Like, we heard from Tux rather earlier, saying that, you know, exactly on the positions of the roster. They got started very, very early on in the fact that it was, 3rd or 4th of January that they started practice again. Yeah, so I just want to get a feel from the year. But look, you know, we know exactly how they're looking. They're going to be the red hot favorites for the course of the year. And I don't think we're going to be seeing any roster changes either unless something horrible goes wrong. So they're the ones that are going to be looking to represent our region. I can feel it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And I think then the thing is who is going to be the next one to kind of step into it. If, you know, you're kind of thinking about it as well, there might even be a chance with Dizzy stepping down on Sonics over in NA that he comes back and might want to play here. Probably not, but I mean, you know, you're kind of thinking about that. But in the grand scheme of things, Mitch, we didn't end up seeing all of the teams play out through today. So why don't we have a look at where everybody's at?
Yeah, why not? Let's bring up that bracket to have a cheeky little look about what we got to see in Group A today. So obviously that's what we're seeing right now is map victories. So Order taking down Fun Crew 2-0. And that's the teams that I was looking at earlier. The amount of things I've heard from the Honey Badgers. I think I knew about 2 players on that roster, but apparently there's 3 more absolute
units coming out of there, as well as, of course, Bonkers. So that's Minimize's team, right? From memory. Is that correct? Anyway, regardless, that's what we're looking for. It's 4 really hot teams there, and then Mind Freak pulling over that 2-0 over Iconic. Swirl also does say a big sorry as well for not being able to make it for that first map, most it just by the margin. So Mind Freak, I think they deserve that 2-0. Obviously, they were looking really strong on Bind anyway, and yeah, looking to see Krimis Disciple and Meow Meow pulling it up, which they'll be playing tomorrow, right, with Tony and Matzy.
Correct, and I think the Bonkers supremacy is something that we're seeing. Minimize has been floating around the streams and stuff, and we know, I mentioned it earlier. He's been practicing with a couple of those overseas teams and stuff. So yeah, Minimize, Scroll, Major, Tix, nice stacked roster. If I didn't have to say so myself, coming in, you got Jesse in the mix there too. So I'm looking forward to sitting pretty and watching Two Tap Tony and Matsy take that one away tomorrow.
Absolutely, I think I'll be bedbound tomorrow, just chilling and trying to absorb all of it, guys. I just wanted to say thank you again to everyone who has sat down and joined us in the chat tonight. It was a really, really nice time, right? I think we had a mixture of about 2,500 viewers across the board, which for OCE Valorant, that's an absolute fantastic run. It's so good to be back on board with you all for the Valorant Oceanic Tour 2022. And a massive shout out, of course, to our Observer Crash, our admins in Rosa, and also, I believe, Carlin, and to, all the casters coming up, all the casters that did the open quals as well, and our beautiful production team as well, Disco and Fraser. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Komodo, any more final thoughts before we wrap up?
If you wanted to follow me and Mitch as well, the nameplates, they were there, they just disappeared. We do our own thing. We attempt to play the games as well. Thank you, Fraser, for bringing those back. Yeah, that's where you guys can find us. But I guess until next week, you'll see me back, but you're not going to be there.
I got a wedding, baby, and I'm very, very excited for it. It should be a lovely, lovely weekend. Long-term friend of mine, so awesome time. And it's going to be a shame that I miss it, but trust me when I say I'll be watching some of it. At least on the Sunday when I'm a bit, running through. So you should see us back for playoffs. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm very much looking forward to that. So again, thank you to everyone for watching. It's been an absolutely stellar opening. Big shouts to the teams, Mind Freak and Order GG. We'll see you guys back tomorrow with Tony and Matsy at 5:30 p.m. New Zealand time, 3:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Take care. Payne picks up 1, 2, 3. Beautiful stuff here coming out from Payne.
They'll know exactly that there's a player here potentially trying to come up with a second play. No! Oh my God!
The Viper's pit does get pulled on out. Clutchy dispatches of Easy, and there's another entry point.
Even with all the Viper units still down here from RDW, Bunda.
They do gather the information, and Myth has actually moved around onto the other side of this poison cloud. It's great on the whole. Another picked up by Myth. A third. A third. Oh my word!